You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming. There's no way that you make it, and maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fight back. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not, think a straight kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking. Nah, I don't wanna hear it anymore, I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these fucking thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the motherfucking door on all you poor ass haters with your heads in the clouds, talking out loud so proud. You better shut your goddamn mouth before I do more, speak out. It's about to head south. You're never gonna make it. There's no way that you make it, and maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fight back. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mr. Yours. Today, I bring you our very first vodcast featuring co-host Asta, and we're bringing aboard Game of Thrones, GoT, and we're going to be talking about, building a strong culture for your alliance, team dynamics, and dealing with changes inside of a major alliance, or just the alliance in general, especially leadership changes. But if the 21, thank you very much, my man. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping in, brother. All is good. So, yeah, it can be an interesting episode. This is not a scripted stream. This is not scripted. Literally, we all just talked about what we want to talk about, and that's what we plan on doing. There's no editing. It's all live. There's no bullshit. Okay, it's all authentic. You guys know how we roll here, and that's what it's gonna be all about. That's what it's all about tonight. Monty, what's going on, man? Thank you for stopping, brother. Hope you're doing well. Sophie, what's going on? Daily, how you doing? The Growler, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you for stopping in. Jamini, hope all is well, brother. We got Crate. What's going on, Crate? How you doing? Jason, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Sus, what's up, Pookie? The sexy guy, how you doing? New Feathers, what's going on? Thank you for stopping in. David Williams, Omar, Poseidon, what's up? Mitchell, how you doing? Thank you for stopping in, my man. Magnum, what's up, you sexy bastard? How you doing? Samantha, what's going on, Samantha? How you doing? Thank you for stopping in. God, that Samantha girl's pretty. So yeah, we got this podcast. Arafina, how you doing? Thank you for stopping in. So it's gonna be a little slow rolling at first. You know, wow, they're almost 1 billion power. That's absolutely insane. So we're gonna call them. A few of them are gonna join now. Some of them might join later. You know. Yeah, I like these new events. Teresa, how you doing? Thank you for stopping in. We're gonna give them a call. They're all gonna jump on to the phone call, and then we're just gonna start talking and see how things go. You know, should be a good time. I think should be a good time. I'm gonna try and slowly convince them to get on camera, and then we'll just move their cameras over to the stream screen if we can. It might be a battle, but I don't see them using the cameras, but we're gonna try. You hope Saint HP is talking? He's your Pookie? Whoa, man. You said I was your Pookie. What's going on there, man? I'm just replaced just like that? Like just like that. You just you kicked me out the door and bring him in? The bed's still warm, man. All right, let's give them a call and see what's going on. Let's turn on the music. We're not worried about music right now. We are worried about what they have to say and how this is going to go, in my opinion. Pookie fight. That's right. All right, let's give them a call. Let's see who's available. Let's see who's ready. Incoming. You're my American Pookie. All right, we got them. We got about 7 phone calls going out right now. Let's see how it's going. We got Asta in here. We got Bellamy in here. We got Off Soli in here. What's going on? How you guys doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Not too bad. I appreciate your time tonight, Bellamy. Much appreciated. Asta.
Happy to be here.
What else we got? We got Off Slowly. We got Saint HP in here. What a lovely crowd, huh?
Yep.
X-Wing Jr. I'm going to start calling you, man.
You sound eerily alike. HP, you're on mute. I don't know if that's intentional or not.
He's wrapping the wounds, man. Wrapping the wounds.
For sure.
He's icing his ribs.
Asta, how you doing, brother? You still here?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Oh, you sound tired. Hope that works because it's better soon, man.
Nah, it's all good.
So yeah, Bellamy, Off Slowly. I know Saint HP's here. You guys want to tell us a little bit about yourselves? I don't want to go first. Who you are, where you're from, as far as Evony goes, anyways.
Sure. Bella, you want to go first, or no?
I don't care. I can go first.
All right, you go.
Okay. So Ebony Wise, Bellamy here. I have been around for probably about 4 years now. Started on C5 in an alliance there, and of course, like everybody else, was brought in addicted to the puzzles, and then quickly discovered that there was more to the game. X-Wing is my mentor and friend. He recruited me into his alliance, taught me a lot, and then recruited me over to GOT, where I am today. So very proud GOT member on C1, and excited to be here today to talk more.
And my story is not terribly dissimilar. I started on C5 and went through a bunch of server evolution and alliance evolution, and then eventually that server got moved down to C4. And then, X-Wing and I were talking, and he brought me into GOT as well, into his previous keep when he moved into the big setter keep. So I'm a relatively newer addition to GOT, but really happy to be here.
Thank you for introducing yourselves. Saint, you still there? Or are you wrapping your wounds? All right, he must be a little bit busy.
Hey guys, yeah, so this is Saint HP, and I was in C3 before, and I played with Glorfindel, and after he joined GOT, I came through and followed him there. He called me in there, and I started off on a K40, I think, yeah. then got it up to 42. Then Glor got a bit busy, and then I started taking the setter role, and I did set for the team for a while. And then after that, I just decided to take a small retirement. But I'm still around, filling all the keeps in different alliances, and even like strategizing for GOT, helping the people to get their defensive builds, strategizing and planning out their key performance, how they should improve this and that, and sometimes discussing, helping out with the recruitment as well. So I'm still around, but I don't have a keep right now on GOT, but I'm still around to help the team out.
That's awesome that you stuck it out and still kind of hang around to help them too.
He's not giving himself enough credit. He is definitely a backbone at GOT. We're lucky to have him.
For sure.
Hey.
I mean, you seem like you. I mean, as far as Saint HP goes, I mean, personally, I see him everywhere. I think he has a pretty large impact. I mean, especially you guys, but also a big part of Evony themselves too.
I agree. He likes to help. He's good at educating.
Yeah, I mean, I try to help as much as possible. Like even at the coin strike, I think that was a good idea. So that's why I started following through Viper's plan, and we tried doing things around, but obviously, like not all of the things could go obtained in this. So we got what we want, and I think we got a little bit of wins from there. Some might call it a failure or something, but I think we still did some pretty good stuff from there. And I think if we are sticking together with the community in that aspect, we can still keep going with Evony changing stuff around. Like we got some good improvements in the game as well. So yeah, I like to help around a bit, and yeah, of course, like GOT is my main priority. Yeah. Yep, that's about me.
That's big news, man. I like to hear that. I love GOT, man. X-Wing left a huge imprint on this game. And also on me too. I respect that guy tremendously. So what he left behind, I think, is incredible, and I look forward to see the future of you guys.
Yeah, I think it was quite an important step. Like when Glor left, and he needed someone to step in at that, and X-Wing stepped in, and he did a lot of things for the team. And like even before leaving, he made sure like he's passing on the keep to a capable player. So we had Bowie move up in the ranks. He was the main setup before and like the main leader of the alliance as well. So when he left through, he passed it on to her, and then he continued from there. And I think we are rebuilding again. So I think that's the thing about GOT. Like no matter how many times we face these kind of adversities, we still keep on rebuilding everything back up. So it has happened before, and like we're still rebuilding right now, and it's in good progress right now. So yeah, we are gonna bounce back again. It's ongoing.
I look forward to that, man. And I've only met V a couple of times, and I gotta say, she is such a nice person. But there's also the side of her where it comes to competitiveness, she's pretty savage, man. I respect that.
Yeah. She's like the grandma that I don't know. She reminds me of my
scary
grandma. Yeah, like you respect the hell out of her, right? So you don't want to mess it up, and you might get slapped upside the head, but she's probably gonna give you a cookie. Like she feels like your grandma.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, man. Oh, jeez. So, I mean, all right. So, like, who was around first when it came to GOT? I know Bellamy, you followed X-Men over here. Off slowly, you kind of followed him as well. I mean, Saint, were you here before either of them? Like even X-Wing?
Yeah, I think I started filling for Glor in August, I think. So earlier on, I used to fill for some of the alliances, and it was mostly C3 I was in. So at that time, I had my own keep as well. So, but after K45, I think I left the game for a bit, and then Glor returned to the game, and he called me in for GOT. So I started filling for them. I think it was like the All Stars in 2023. So since the first rebuilding phase that started for GOT, when V and Jaboki was recruiting every player around. So they got Glorian as a main setter, and then he started recruiting all the people around. He got X-Wing, he got me, and then some of us like the main ones, and then the OG ones like Virus, V, Jaboki, BG, John Steed. So these players were already there. So I think they have been the one who has been here the longest time here. I came in like 2023, but yeah, they were like the OGs.
Yeah, they offer the consistency.
So you guys had a pretty solid.
You were well established when I joined, and I've been with them for a year now.
Oh.
Well, it's funny even to hear some of these stories. like you hear some names that keeps like Fury from way back, and you're like, oh wow, like you were all here for all of that. I'm a little bit jealous, you know.
I think those times were insane. Like I think GOT used to be in C2 that time, so C2 was the most competitive server. I mean continents, because there was RSP, there was VIG. I think VIG was still building up that time, but RSP was like the topmost contenders at that on those era actually. And that time, I think the game used to be more strategic based than just hurling rallies and going through strong stuff and buffs. But I think that was K35 and K40. So I think Battle Fury was there. He was like one of the most impactful
What's up, Big
player in
T?
that time. And
Yo, what's up,
V,
Barrett?
Virus,
Derek,
these
how you
people were
doing,
there
man? Thank you for
supporting
stopping,
him.
brother.
And yeah, like they made a name for themselves. They even won a challenge in C2 before, when there was a good competition with RSP. And there was also an alliance called Angels and Demons that was from Rhythm Alliance. They used to contest well at that time as well. So like C2 was the most server around at that time, but they still managed to get a challenge win. Like they were very strategic at that in that era. So yeah, I mean like those were like the main OGs as well. But I think Fury left for after a while, and V, Jaboki, these BG, the Virus, these guys stayed back. They're still playing. They're still going strong.
Thanks for saying that. And kind of, since you mentioned like the different continents and everything like that, with the shifts, I know we talked before, and I know C1 has seen some shifts in the top teams, especially like after All Stars, something like that, and recently, and
Yeah.
which can be pretty standard, as far as changes go after All Stars, the competitiveness and all that. And then you also guys had to deal with X-One's departure, being one of them. How was this impacted on GOT exactly, if you guys don't mind me asking?
I think it's interesting. In a lot of ways, I think that the Galore shift hit us a little harder because I think that there was a little bit less expectation. Not that anybody thought X-Wing was going anywhere, but in a lot of ways, he was the first big leader that shifted out and made the change. And he had a really great plan in place because he worked with X-Wing, pulled X-Wing up. X was already our second setter, so it was a very natural transition for us. So then when it came to the X-Wing transition internally, we had already kind of begun to talk about those same things and kind of making sure that we had good succession in place and making sure that we kept some continuity at the top. So it was really great to be able to just say, okay, it sucks. We hate to lose somebody who we all enjoy playing with and care about, but we have V, who's an incredible, nobody's going to say she's not a good setter. She's a phenomenal setter. We're really lucky to have her off slowly, who may be newer to the team, but let's be real, really strong setter who is learning the C1 area, not learning how to play the game. So he's definitely stepping up as our number 2 setter, very easily stepped into that seat. And the two of them work so well together because they've already had practice together that now what we're doing is pulling in at the next level, right? So I elevated a step. It's kind of GOT style, is we promote from within. So when those openings come, then we lift up within the team, pull people up into those higher seats, and then recruit with those kind of newer seats that are well-built keeps. And it keeps a lot of continuity. So yeah, it sucks. It's not fun. Nobody says it's fun. And yes, we still have to rebuild, but it's a good team. It's a good culture. And I think that the partnership, the collaboration to make sure that it's has as little impact as possible on the team dynamic has been really well handled. And I will say I give, again, HP and leaders like V and Jaboki a lot of credit for that because they've built that culture.
Well said, Bill.
100%. I'll echo that. So when I first arrived, it was in X-Wing's previous keep before he took Glory's keep. And V, HP, Jaboki, all of them reached out and said, hey, man, what do you need? What can we do? V said, I know this keep well. Here's 3 or 4 targets of things you might want to look at doing for next steps. Here's where we want to take it. Here's what we think, the team might need. So hugely supportive right out of the gate. And just immediately it was like, oh, finally, I feel like I'm home. This is awesome.
Home sweet home, man. And
Exactly.
you sound confident too. And I know you're a recent addition, but you sound very confident about yourself and also your team. And it seems like they have a lot of confidence in you as well, especially in the second setter and all.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I mean, it's one of those places where, we play, competitive battlefields. We have fun doing it, and then whether the battlefield's over in 20 minutes or you play for 2 hours, you end up wanting to stay hanging out on the phone talking to people and stuff. So it's just a really enjoyable way to play the game. I really love it.
That's good. It seems like it was a good switch for you to kind of join GoT then.
Yeah, it's a good fit.
So, I mean, speaking of you coming over here, could any of you guys tell me more about like the succession? What does that mean for GoT moving forward?
That's a really good question. So, like master plan long term, I think a couple things. I think, and this is my personal opinion, but kind of where I see things going. We have a lot of really strong keeps that are very stable, and eventually, sort of, I personally see, and I think the team sees the same, a likely necessity of not just one setter who has the sole responsibility of driving the game, but really, it's a team sport, right? So not only does everyone play a role, but everyone has to communicate well and get where they're going. And I think having a team with two solid setters, especially when you get into spaces like Shalons and COC, is going to be an absolute necessity. So I'm currently building the Valvey keep towards her old keep, which is my current account, towards that capacity, and we're reloading on some of the key filler spots that have strong defense but can fill and rack up points through battlefields. And so I think that's eventually the direction the team's going to end up going, is kind of having a dual role, and just being really tight on communication and being able to predict what everyone else is doing or planning to do and thinking and all that stuff. I don't know. I just did a lot of talking. Bella, HP, what do you guys think?
Hey man, talk all you want, brother.
I'd like to hear HP's thoughts, because he's certainly seen this alliance through a lot of change.
100%.
Yeah, I think like the setup of transferring to two setters started from like last All Stars. So I think last All Stars, when Kara and Kingster were setting in the team in C1 especially, I'm not saying like the two setter is always efficient, because you need to have a good chemistry and coordination with both the setters. So if you're not on the same track, you might overspeak on someone, or you might be sending like half a rally and both the rallies will be splatting. So I don't think that's sometimes efficient. But if the coordination is well, like for example, V and Australia is going on with a good coordination with them, so it's like take up the target, see which target is busy, and if V is setting like 2 rallies or 3 rallies. So in that aspect, I think having combined setter is a bit useful, especially when you're having some kind of lags in places and everything, or all the main setter can't just focus on the portals or the mines and everything like that, or some small targets like 6-7 Bs and you need to ground or calf clear them. So things like that, I think in that aspect it's a very good move according to me. But considering the shifts in the accounts, I think it's been a big hurdle, but we somehow keep on managing that. Like as Bella mentioned, when Glor left after a couple of weeks, I think two more of our keeps got emptied out because of like one of them had a new family member added to them, and the second one had a business shift. So obviously they were going to prioritize. Like they already informed us before, but they took the call then. But we somehow we got bad kitty, like someone from player from C6, and we got NF new feathers on some of the keeps. So we keep on finding the players around, or if we see like someone is working really hard, we try to pass on the particular account to them, so that they get more motivation and ambition from that. So like accordingly for me as well, like I think if the shift from Australia to that second setter is a very good move, and this is going to be a game change in the coming time, according to me. If there's a good chemistry, like that's a very main factor if you have two setters in the team. So yeah, I mean, upwards only. This is going upwards for sure. But we're still trying to get more and more players in. Like, right now I would say the shift in the game is a bit there because you need more depth in the team. And if the depth is
Yeah,
missing, like as a alliance, it's very important. If you don't have the depth, it's gonna be a little bit struggling battlefield. So no matter how much you strategize, you need to have a good depth in the team right now.
100%.
Well
Yep.
said, Saint. Well said, man. I like that. Anything you'd like to add at all, Belle? Not to put you on the spot or anything, but I'm just curious.
No, I think that they both said it well. I think the biggest thing that I'd key into in terms of why I stay at GOT and why I think that there's a certain kind of special element to us is chemistry, right? So it's not about just finding the next big player or big coiner. It's about finding people that gel and fit well and that communicate well and keeping the toxicity and the drama low. So I think we've done a really good job. Again, I don't take credit for that. I joined a team and really happy to be here. But I think that V and Jaboki and Glor and HP and people who came before me did a really good job of making sure that people were joining for the right reasons. So it's a good place to be.
Definitely is a good place to be, and X-Wing always bugged me. I don't want to say bugged, but he always kind of nudged me in the ribs to come over and join you guys. And I gotta say that I've always wanted to, but I mean, I had my home, over in Evil, and with joining you guys, right? You hear a lot of stories about people like have coining requirements, at the top levels, especially like the capacity that you guys play in. What does that look like for GOT? For new members, is there any type? Does that require any type of recruitment process? Is that a question for you guys? Like, do you coin, so to speak?
I think anybody at our level who says they're not coining is lying.
I think that's fair. I mean, there is a certain pay to win sort of aspect to it, but there's more to that. I think that there's ways to do that, and then there's also ways to support each other. I mean, as HP was saying, like the depth of the team and the lateral power is so much more important than one person spending a lot of money. And then I've also seen a bunch of players who spend a lot of money but don't know how to play the account. And then I've also seen players who spend a lot of money and know how to play the account, but they can't work well with others and they can't play well in the sandbox. And so it's rare and not always easy to find someone who's able to keep the account going, keep it built, keep it moving forward, and then also just be a normal, no drama player who can do well at the game. That's like the ideal player. But I know that they're out there. I mean, we've collected a whole bunch of them, right? I mean, that's what GOT's core is. So, and the whole team through.
I think the most important thing is smart coining, right? So, like Alf just said, it's not about just throwing a bunch of money at it. You can do that, but that doesn't create strength on a team. But realistically, to play at the level we're playing, you're going to spend something. I think what I like about GOT is there's no pressure to spend. So there's an expectation of you're competitive and you're able to invest the way you need to invest, whether it's time, energy, technology, to elevate your keep and keep it growing. But it's not necessarily hey, if you don't coin X amount of money, you can't join. But we find competitive players with a certain type of personality, and they're probably going to have the same addiction the rest of us have and spend a little. I don't think there's a way around it.
Well, and I'll also add, like HP, I've kind of filled around and been on a bunch of different servers, different alliances and stuff. And you definitely get a sense of, the teams that are really going to be successful are the ones that find ways to support each other.
Yeah.
Whether that's through coining, whether that's through figuring out how to, rally monsters or, manage this or provide the right advice at the right time or whatever. But the ways that you figure out how to elevate your teammates and your team as a whole, by nature, that's key, right?
I think something else that, and again, I'm relatively new to this community compared to others who I see in our chat who I'm sure have different opinions, but I will tell you that one of the things I like about GOT is that there is a strategic investment in other players. So if you work really hard, then maybe you can't afford to coin as much as somebody else, but there's ways that we're going to invest in you. If you're close to getting a keep upgrade, we're going to help you get there. We're going to support you, get you the RSS, get you what you need. If you're on the edge of getting a certain cake level and you just need to get a little further, we're going to help you get there. So there's a lot of team effort because one player by themselves is eventually going to lose. But if you have a whole team working together and you build that bench strength coming up, then the team does much better. So I think that's one of the things I like about GOT.
Yeah, and also I would like to add something. Like you asked, like what do we ask for coining recruitments? Like for the recruitments, we ask for requirements at the top levels, right? So I think generally, whenever someone asks me when I'm reaching them for purchasing a keep in the alliance or getting in as a filler or whatever it is in the alliance, then I generally mentioned it to them like there's no coining level mentioned in our team. There's no hard and fast for this. It's mainly based on the motivation. So if you're
Right.
changing team, if you're changing your server and you like the team setup, you like the environment, basically you like the whole setup, and you'll definitely be willing to improve your account for the team. So if you connect with the team, you definitely get that motivation instant. So
Yep.
instead of us forcing and making it hard and fast, like okay, you need to kick per 2 times this event or something like that, we can just say okay, if you want, you can do it. If you don't want, that's fine as well. It's up to you to improve how much you want to improve your account. Like if someone reaches out to me like what should I change in this account, what do you suggest for buying in this, I would mention it to them like, yeah, okay, get this and this if you can. If not, then it's fine. Like, it's not like okay, you have to do like a headmaster continuously poking you like, yeah, you need to do this, you need to spend that. I think everyone has their own capacity at every time, and everyone manages their finances according to themselves. So yeah, no one to tell them okay, you need to find this sufficiently or not. So it's basically motivation. Like you get hit by a strong rally from like GIG or RSP, and you would think, yeah, okay, I need to improve the aspect of my account because it's
Yeah.
performing good. So that comes as a motivation as well.
And I think that's why you heard such a long pause before anyone was willing to talk when you asked the question. Because it's like, man, how do I answer this question? It's not a requirement. We don't even really talk about it. But
Yeah.
of course, I'm coining. What do I say?
Well, no, I mean it's a good question because even at like our capacity, we're like I don't know a third of your size, but people ask us all the time, like if they come to buy a keep on our server, they say like what do I have to spend? So I didn't because we tell them the same thing like hey, just be active and be motivated. So I didn't know like at your tier as far as an alliance goes, your level like is that someone's like you guys have to cake 4, you guys have to cake 10 or anything like that. But the fact that you guys are willing to help each other is huge because I remember witnessing that firsthand. I remember talking to X-Wing back when he had an Aptoid code, and I think it was between him and Jabot that they were speaking of, who are we going to push to top 20 during the event? And I believe it was the Ragnar event. And, that was unheard of for me personally. Like, I've never heard someone be like, hey, man, you're closer to the top, top 3. All right, I'm going to send you all of this to help push you. Like, even though that could have helped him personally.
Yeah, for sure.
It was more of a
Yeah.
team effort at that point. And,
Yeah.
like, that opened my eyes as far as, like, especially like in the community of Evony themselves. Like, the relationships, the family ships, the friendships. That's huge for you guys. And, that's something that I look forward to pursuing this game. And I look up to you guys. I really do, because that's huge. It says a lot about a team when you're willing to make self-sacrifice for others.
Yeah, definitely. Like, some of the people like I talk when I'm trying to recruit or when, someone else from our team is trying to recruit, they are generally a bit, I would say not scared, but it's like underconfident about joining the team because, they're more overthinking about like they will underperform or something, or, they might have to spend like a crazy amount on the keep or have a lot of expectation. I was like, okay, just play the normal way you're playing. That's it. You don't need to do anything over the bounds to, to impress us or something. You got a spot in the team because you were already deserving. Yeah. So it doesn't have to prove anything to anyone here because everyone is playing their own game. So it's just a collected effort. That's it.
I like to hear that. That's awesome. Speaking of all this recruitment stuff, I mean, do you guys have any keeps that are currently? Not for me. I'm just curious. Do you guys have any keeps that are available? And
I mean, I can bug you every day as well, like I've seen it.
yeah, right. Because I haven't seen you guys advertise anywhere that much. So where do you, if you have keeps for sale, where do you guys generally advertise them? Out of curiosity.
That's a good question. I think that it's really more word of mouth, right? So I'll be transparent and say we're watching Shalon's events and All Stars events, especially on other servers and other continents, and watching to see how people progress and getting to know people. So a lot of the individuals that we recruit are people who we've been talking to for weeks or months, not just people who we just heard from or who tried to buy a keep. I think at HP again can talk a lot more about this than I am because I've just kind of joined the recruiting team, but it's definitely intentional. It's not just, hey, anybody who wants to buy, come buy. It's let's make sure that we're talking to the right people and building the right knowledge of them so that it's a good fit. And yeah, good luck. We aren't recruiting Mr. Yours. He's very loyal to Asta, and I know why.
I just picked him off the street, so I don't know why he's loyal to me.
I wasn't on the streets, okay?
It was more like an alley.
Yeah,
I got to sub for him, and I got to see Asta play. I understand why.
Yeah, just to add a little bit to what Bella said. I mean, we've talked a lot about culture. We've talked a lot about how the team works together and all that stuff. And I think we're super intentional about I hate to say it this way, but the privilege to play at GOT, right? We want the right people, the right players, the right folks there. And so occasionally I'll put out an advertisement on a continent Discord. Most of the conversations going, but there's always conversations going. And just like any business or any professional sports team or any other space, recruitment is always an ongoing, and it's a network and all that stuff. So you just really want to work to try and get to know people and make sure that they're gonna fit well, both for their sake and the team.
Yes. So I'm just going to throw this out there. This is where my randomness comes in. We've recruited people before where, during the interview process, we'll call it, right? They sound like a phenomenal person. Not whether they coin or not, they just sound like a great person, And you go through a couple of battlefields or SVSs and you're like, okay, maybe they just had a bad day. Maybe it was a bad week at work. Maybe the fight with the wife, But then 2 months goes by and they're just this negative effect. Have you guys ever experienced that? And if you have, how do you deal with it?
They kick them.
I have, but not at GOT. Yeah, not here. I mean, I think it's tough. I mean, if it's a player with an account and a keep, I think it's tough. I think if it's a Discord that you're a part of, it's easy to leave Discord. It's easy to leave the conversation. It's easy to just say, turn off the toxicity, right? If it's something within your own team, and I think this is more advice for other teams, we really don't even bother with this much, but
I think so let me rephrase what yours is saying. So
yeah, go ahead.
It's not that, so we don't get bad players specifically, is what I'll say. It's not bad players or bad people. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of negativity, but it's after they see. It's more about consistency, or how do you determine consistent players versus people that are just gonna, and this might be a bad term, but basically just leech, if that makes sense, where they're just sitting there collecting and they're not doing anything for their own growth, if that makes sense. But so, I think that's what he's asking.
I'd love to hear from HP and Bella. My personal opinion, you start with team first conversation, right? when people ask me like, "Hey, do you have a keep available? Do you know, are you guys recruiting?" The answer will be like, "Always." And they'll say, "What's the requirement of being on the team?" And my first words are, "We're team first." And if that's not your game, then there's nothing else to talk about. It's hard because some people can play along with that for a while, but you'll eventually see it. And then I would also say kind of the better your network, the more you see that coming to a certain extent. But HP, Bella, what are you guys' thoughts? Like
I think this is a hard one for me to answer because, you know, I've been fortunate in the sense that, yes, my first server was crazy and dramatic and all kinds of insanity that I'm so happy to see has settled down now. But we never had any of that recruiting. We were way too young. And so I really didn't experience that until I got to GOT. And I haven't seen, and maybe I'm just not aware, I haven't seen any time that GOT has had to have a tough conversation with somebody who wasn't a good fit. I've seen players leave that for a variety of reasons, maybe they weren't as active or they didn't seem as engaged. And I don't know why they left, but they made choices to leave. So I think to a certain degree, if you create an environment that is a certain standard and people don't feel they're fitting, they kind of make their own choices to exit to a certain degree. Now I have seen, I sub quite a bit, and my husband plays, and he plays on another server, and I've seen other servers that have faced that challenge, and that's tough. It's really hard because when you invest in somebody and they invest in you and you've got to make some tough choices, I think there's some hard conversations that have to happen. And I think it's just being transparent and honest and making sure people understand what the expectations are. And ultimately, they paid to play this game just like you did. So it's not an easy conversation.
Yeah.
So I don't have a clear answer for it other than to say I'm fortunate that I don't think, and to my knowledge, GOT's faced that since I've been here. But I think part of that's just because we are a little slower to adopt. You know, we don't rush into people buying keeps here either, right?
Yeah.
I think in terms of that, like having a player that's not that engaging or, just doing the counterproductive work in the keep or something like that, I don't think we have had anyone yet. And like if someone is like constantly inactive in battlefields or, not joining the battlefields, not working on anything out, not even having a conversation, we try to reach them out first. And it's not like we ask the question like, why are you not joining the battlefields, or why you're not investing, something like that. The first question is like if the person is okay or not. So one of our members had the same issue in the real life, so we just try to reach out to him, me and we try to have the conversation with him, like what's happening, if he's okay or not. Then after that, after like a few moments of that conversation, we got onto that point like, okay, is it like, are you comfortable playing the keep inside this alliance or not, something like that. So we ask them, we take their consent first, and then we try to understand like if that's not a big issue that's going on with them, and if they're still willing to play the game or not. And if they're not just busy for the moment, we try to get as many fillers as we can whenever there's any kind of battlefields around. So like that's the whole setup for it. Like I don't think we have had anyone who's just causing any trouble or something like that. Not yet, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wait. It'll be me, HP. Just kidding.
You're getting the boot and loot off slowly, huh?
I'm just kidding.
Gladly.
I might have missed it, Bellamy. Just for a side note, just so everyone kind of like that's watching knows, like, or in the future that watches. Do you guys have any openings right now in GOT? I mean, you have any keeps that you're trying to get rid of? Or anything like that?
Do we have keeps that are available for the right person? Yes, always.
For the right person, I like that.
So no, we've got some opportunities. I think you heard me say I elevated to a new keep, and really excited that they gave me the opportunity to do so. But that means that OG Bella is open and available. Although I have had somebody who's interested in it. Hopefully we close that deal this weekend if she's listening. But yeah, no, we've, again, one of the things that I respect about our team is that we promote from within. So when keeps open up, as we all know, sometimes it can be less expensive to invest and move up without spending to build. And so when those opportunities open up, our players that have worked really hard and shown themselves, we start there, and then go out into the market. So yes, we have some keeps available. We've got a couple really strong K44s that for the right person are available, but we also have no rush. We're not in a hurry. We've got good solid subs that are running those accounts and making sure they stay stable and stay active until we can fill them with the right seat.
Good to know. Thank you for sharing that. And little side note, like if you message Asta here every hour on the dot consistently, he loves that, by the way. If you ever need a filler, just throwing it out there.
Noted. Asta will hear from me every hour on the hour. I got it.
Every hour, huh?
Yes, like
There's a macro for that, right?
I
there
heard
is.
he has nothing better to do.
No, it's true. It's true. But I mean, make sure like at least 3
I
or
don't
4
know
of you
about
guys.
nothing better to do. Let's not go that far. I got nothing better to do. But
Every hour, all of you guys, like the whole line. Just remind them.
Lots of time on your hands, not busy at all, right?
I mean, sure, I guess, yeah. Mr. Yours says it must be true.
Exactly. See? I wouldn't say it was
So.
wrong. So, I mean, we've talked a lot about like team dynamics and everything like that, like challenge and all stars. And one thing I can say that I don't know much about is how you guys operate in SVS. How does that look for you guys? I mean, do you guys just kind of sit back and just like try and farm to build, and you guys go out and conquer the enemy and piss them off? What do you guys do?
Depends on the competition. I think I see some of our competition in the chat here, and
Ooh.
when certain teams are in the mix, then we will stay under our bubbles and wave, or forget our bubbles, as somebody here can give me trouble about. Stay quiet. But no, I think that when you're playing at the level that we're playing at with the RSPs and the NFGs and the NEFs as your competition during SVS, you play smart. Nobody wants to have to rebuild from scratch, but you have fun. You schedule some battles, you schedule some time to compete. We had a great throne battle last weekend where we spent 5 hours hanging out and chatting, and unfortunately they weren't as active as we had hoped they might be, but they were active enough to give us some fun, and we had fun hanging out together. So it's not the same as it was when I was on C5 and it was everybody active 24/7, but it's strategically fun. How's that? Is that a good way to put it, HP?
Yeah, I think we did go for Conquer last time, right? I mean, the last SVS.
Yeah, we did.
It was but I was expecting a bit more fight from the server. Like I was quite looking up to it, but yeah, I mean, maybe like the timing would have been off for the team or for them or something like that, so they couldn't be participating that much at that time. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think the topmost keep of the server did try to beat us out a bit. It did do some good attacks on us, and they did pretty well on that. But yeah, overall, I don't think one person can take out like a 90 mil reinforcement in the throne. So obviously, I think maybe the team was not active at that time. Something would have been there, but yeah, we managed to conquer that, and I think it was quite like after quite some time, because we kept getting matched with like NFG and NEF and something like that. So when you face teams like that, it's a bit tough to conquer. Yeah, because like they have a good firepower to kick you out of throne in like 2 or 3 hits maximum. So yeah, it was quite good.
It's good to hear. Well, one thing that sticks out to me, I don't know if you guys have seen the clip. It's on YouTube somewhere. You guys were facing somebody, and Virus just sat there tanking rallies for like, I forget how long it was, but I remember seeing that video. I was
we
like,
all want to be Virus when we grow up.
yeah, I was like, I want to be that dude. Like, holy crap,
He just plays
If you ask
normally, man.
Virus why he's so good, he'll just tell you he's just playing the game.
Yep, he just plays normal. That's all he
Playing
does.
normally, yeah.
It's a modest
Really
answer.
good at it.
No, that was
No,
impressive.
he is amazing. Builds a phenomenal defense, and it's interesting. He's quiet, but he is very supportive of the team, and if you show interest, he'll help you out. But externally, he'll just say he's just playing his game. But
Just
he
playing
is.
my
He's a
game.
tank. Yeah. We played RSP a couple weeks ago, and again, maybe I shouldn't say this. HP, you may tell me I've had too much tequila tonight, but
Not enough.
playing RSP, you know you're going to get hit, right? I mean, like, you know that they're going to hit you with 100 mil plus rallies or 100 bill plus rallies, and you know the odds of you surviving are low. But we made it through with Virus, Bowvy, and Off Slowly still standing. And I think they didn't even touch Virus. I think they were like, nope.
They
So
seen the
Virus
same
has
video.
a reputation. We all want to be Virus, but nobody knows his secret. He keeps them to himself.
Well, what's interesting is
Yeah.
if you like really get him talking, he gets really detailed about it. Like he knows every detail. He's really smart about it. But he's a very humble guy and just says, you know, I just play like how anyone would play as long as they see it. He just sees it all. That's how he plays. HP, I think I interrupted you. What were you gonna say?
No, I think like you're saying it correctly, because I think Virus is like very quiet in general, but if you start talking to him about the mechanics and everything, you would realize he knows a crazy amount of it. Like even if the small nook and cranny that we might have missed, he had it with him. Like I had a discussion with him once, and he was like, "Fuck, I still need to know some of the stuff he knows." It's crazy. He didn't have that much,
100%.
but he's insanely knowledgeable about the game. Every nook and cranny of the mechanics and every where you can get buffs from, he knows everything out inside out.
Yep.
So I need to start getting to know Virus pretty well then, you know, get nice little cuddly with him.
Virus gave me some advice on my buffs on my defense general, and I was kind of polling the audience and talking to a couple different people about the advice I had received, and literally the response was, "So it was Virus. Why would you not do what he said? It's defense." I was like, "Okay, sorry. I like to be educated. I like to know why I'm doing what I'm doing, and he's great, but I want to make sure." There's so many. That's the stuff that's so hard, right? I mean, I think that you get so much advice in this game, and so many people have different opinions. Sometimes you just got to know when to say yes, I trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard trusting people.
So we're making sure that Virus gets zeroed this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna live
I'm
stream it?
rating Virus. That's what's happening. I'm just mental note.
Who are we playing tomorrow?
Exactly.
Ooh. So I mean, I'm just curious. How come the general sheet's not updated yet, Bill?
The general sheet is updated. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, so, I'm sorry. Someone just said that it wasn't. I believe them. See, this is a
I know
trust.
exactly. I know who's saying that. Probably, they're looking for a defensive general sheet. There is no
Oh
such
my
thing, and it ain't
God.
gonna happen.
Good luck
We'll
on
give you
good
the
luck.
premium one if you come to GoT, Mr. Yours.
Yeah. Dude, I'll build it just for you.
Yeah. See, there he is. Where's the defense pair, Jenny? Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
Ain't gonna
ask Virus
happen.
for advice, and then I'll put it in Excel. How about that?
Yeah, I had a really so X-Wing and I still talk, and I had a really long conversation with him before he left, because he asked me and Off Slowly if we would help with the spreadsheets when he exited. Sorry, it was a little chaotic, guys. I did the best I could, but I think we've got it squared away. But on the defense general, I was like, "So you are doing that before you leave, right? Like, I'm not taking the heat for that." And he's like, "Nope, it's never gonna happen."
Oh no, he rolled it over to you.
And then, of course, I stepped in, and certain individuals have continued to give me flack. So Rez has already put out a list. So I don't know why everybody's asking me. Everybody should just be listening to Rez.
Because you're Bellamy. I mean, come on, you're Bell.
Rez is good at defense. I mean, I haven't seen the sheet yet, but I'll take a look.
It's a little tongue in cheek. It's I don't think it's real.
Oh,
I think
okay.
realistically,
Fair enough.
there are too many factors for creating the wall gen
Yeah,
sheet.
it's too
Too many
complex.
factors. And very variable on the builds as well. So yeah, it's quite tough, to be honest. I understand why he didn't go through with that idea. There's too many factors that we have to consider, and you know how the build for the keep is and what's the target for the keep will be in the future. So those factors are considered, then only you can make some kind of switches and something like that. Just based on buffs and what they're providing to the whole account is not enough for them. Yeah, I mean, like I understand like the prospect of that, like, why he didn't make it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's pretty large. Very. Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
I can tell you it's interesting. Early on, as I was learning this game, every single leader that would say do this or do that, I'd immediately turn around and do it. I remember sitting down with XP after he recruited me and being like, "So you just told me to do this yesterday. Why are you changing it today?" And the reality is that this game moves so quickly. The new generals, new buffs, new learnings happen so fast. You could spend your entire life chasing whatever the next big advertised buff is, whatever that is. So my advice for those that are listening is find your path, find your structure that you're planning to build, whether it be a T1 trap, whether it be a defensive build, whether it be an offensive build, and stick to it. And don't get so distracted by the shiny and the new. And you're going to end up long term with a much better keep than if you're trying to chase the new.
Yeah.
Well said, Belle. You know, Belle, you should speak more often. I'm just saying.
It's the tequila talking, I promise. Quiet.
It doesn't mean it's not true, though, right?
See, we know all we had to do was just ruff her feathers up a little bit, get her to have a couple of drinks, and, you know, we're good to go.
I spend
Right.
all day talking in my career, so I prefer not to talk in the evening, but I did it for you, Mr. Yours.
Oh, you gotta make me blush. Don't do that, all right? I'm pretty shy as a person.
Oh my god.
I don't believe that for a second.
He's a liar, is what he is.
I am. I'm being serious.
I do want to go on record is that your team asked me if I would stick around and play your keep after I sub for you. So
Ooh.
I don't know,
Ouch.
what's that all about?
Oh, that's a dagger to the heart right there. And I bet you it was Asta that asked the question too.
Maybe once.
Yeah, once my ass. Yeah, that was heartbreak, but that's okay. It's all right.
You know, they were just being nice to me. They still love you. Don't worry.
I mean, they ask me every other week, you know, is Belle subbing
Love's
for
a
you?
very strong word. I wouldn't say that term.
I would consider that term, you know.
Hate-like relationship.
Hate like. I love you too, bro. Don't worry. So I mean, a little out of the outside of the GOT questions, you know. So with these current events, you know, one thing I noticed is they said they're upgrading the consuming event. You know, what do you guys think that's gonna look like?
Huge.
We're gonna hit 30 bill, 50 bill, 100 bill.
25 maybe.
That's the realistic answer.
Yeah.
It's true.
One building takes 75. Let's bump it up another 5 bill.
I can
Yeah.
see that. Yep.
Maybe they could have just introduced like an extra reward for like that, you know, that dragon event that we had. Like you get the chests and everything where you used to get
Yeah.
blood of it. There was a glitch, right? So maybe they could just make it something like that. Like if you spend beyond this, you get like these many crates or something like that, and you get these rewards like speed ups or consumption, like RS or something like that. That would have been like far better. Like depending on how much you're spending, so like people would, you know, invest more RSS at the same time. So it would be more better for them as well. But yeah, I mean, they won't consider definitely, but yeah, something
Yeah.
that would have been a good option, to be honest.
Yeah, I used to be the guy who was like, oh, they just released a new event. I'm gonna wait and see what everyone thinks of it and how to do it. But then they usually fix the event, so I've stopped doing that. Like, there's a new event out today, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing or how to do this, but I'm gonna, you know, I'll give it a shot because I'll try and collect what I can before they fix it, you know. So, but I agree with HP. I think it's gonna be through those kinds of events.
That treasure box or the treasure bag one looks weird, but
Yeah.
interesting at the same time.
It's like that was what I was looking at today. I was like, I have no idea what this is or what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm gonna start trying to do something. So that,
Yeah.
you know,
I was looking at that too, and I was like, I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't. I don't know. I would have to do some math on it to see like what the value is for what
Exactly.
you're spending. But I got a tier 4 treasure lucky bag that costs 1,300 of those bags to open, and it gives 222 like civ treasure boxes, 100 of the art treasure scrolls, and I mean it seems like a decent value worth. So
Right. Yep.
I'd have to do the math on what how much of those I could get for the $100 to spend or whatever, but it's interesting. So
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's just too many endless new events and updates. Like they keep rolling out for some reason, and
yeah.
most of them are, for the best rewards, it's behind a paywall for sure. So every time you need to keep trying to figure out like what's the best route, the cheapest route, to get the best people from there. It's very annoying at sometimes. Like they have like 7 or 8 events at the same time. It's pretty annoying, to be honest.
It's overwhelming. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that, but I will say that, so for that mid-tier player that isn't spending at the level of the higher players, if you're diligent, there's a lot to be found. I mean, again, my husband plays and he spends hours figuring out every single event and every single advantage and figuring out each of the opportunities, and he definitely maximizes the potential. So it's there, but there's definitely a paywall for the best rewards, 100%.
Unfortunate but true.
Are you guys ready for K50?
Oh, geez, you asked it.
No.
You asked it.
No.
Hey, it's coming. I don't know what you guys are. This is all they're giving us all these new updates and quality of life. This is the steak before the fucking shitter hits the fan.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I am very close to K45. When I get there, then we can talk about when K50 comes.
What is it? Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Head off. No,
Oh, I was just gonna say, I definitely see them trying to find novel ways to provide buffs to keep people moving, to keep people building, to keep people spending, without releasing K50. But I mean, it's an inevitability in my mind.
I mean, that's why they started giving free supremacy gear in those boxes now. So
Correct.
that
Yep.
was the free that was the free buffs for every free player. Now it's time to rake in the dough.
Right.
Yeah, that supremacy is really going to help you, even against K45.
So,
But I think honestly, like this.
Oh, God.
Sorry, go on.
I was just telling when they released that, I was like, enjoy your guys' steak and lobster. I was in the military, so they always serve steak and lobster before you guys like get deployed and stuff.
Cool.
So I was like, enjoy your steak and lobster before you get deployed, guys. So, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying like I don't think even 5% of the players are K45 right now, but I definitely think like there's a lot of K43s and 44s around. I think that's the main reason they're going to push for 450 maybe, because to keep them chasing more and more. But I can't even imagine the amount of RSS required for K50 and the amount, the speed they're banning the alt accounts and everything. It's just completely insane. So not sure how people are going to keep catch up that. And like they can't even survive against 6K buffs right now. And I think releasing K50 would have at least bump it up to 7.5 or something, because I think they will keep releasing the new gears or something like that after K50 is out.
Yeah.
And that's gonna skew the balance more and more. It's just fucking disappointing, to be honest. But I don't think they should release it before 2027. But yeah, I mean, they're not gonna listen to us for sure.
Yeah, no, they haven't listened to us at all. So I just thought I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it because I know you guys are obviously a big alliance. So it's not. It's not out of your guys' reach, but for the majority of players, I would say it's definitely out of reach unless you're spending. I don't even know how much income now, like 4 houses.
Right. Yeah. Right.
4 houses and whole body.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
say K50 does come out. I mean, I'm curious what you guys think. The group of you in here right now, who would be the first K50?
I think maybe Geek.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good call.
On which server, though? That's the question. or
Better
both.
narrow it down.
He'll keep him tied. He'll have a fight with himself. No, but I mean, I would say BK if BK was still here too. BK was a big
Sure.
spender.
Yeah.
But since he quit,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I think
would
Rhythm
say-
also quit as well, so Rhythm is also not an option now. Maybe Sir Philip or Neo or I don't know.
Oh yeah.
These guys
Neo.
are also like good options. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played
Imagine
Geek
Neo
once.
hitting with 7.5k buffs
No,
with T17.
I don't want to imagine that, man. That sounds like torture. Seriously. I mean, I think I'm doing pretty well, like in this game. Like I look at myself, I'm like, all right, like good job, man. Pat yourself in the back, and then I look at you guys, and it's like I don't want to do that. Like I would get my ass kicked by you guys so bad. You make me feel so small.
I have a solution for that, to be honest.
I can only imagine. What's the solution you're speaking of?
I mean, you set yourself up for this one. Just join us.
All right, yeah, I knew that was coming. I knew that was. I walked into that one. That's for sure.
But let's say, like, realistically, if K50 comes out sooner than expected, I think most of the top teams would definitely be aiming for all their accounts to reach 45 first instead of pushing one keep to K48 or K47, whatever that is. So that would be like the smartest move, I think, would be possible. Like push all the accounts to K45 or something, and make more debuffs and defenses stronger, because I think all the last few all-stars, mostly the defending teams, like you get a good lead in the start and you keep defending till the last minute, keep going positive on the rallies. I think defense is the main key factor for these kind of big events right now.
Yeah.
I mean, talent is very variable, definitely, because the types of alliances that qualify for finals is variable sometimes. So challenge is definitely objective at this point, but yeah, if you realistically push most of your team to go K45 and have a good defensive build, then yeah, that would be a good option instead of pushing one keep to K50 or something.
Yeah.
Well, and if I remember, it's been a bit since I made the switch from 39 to 40. But the building requirements from 39 to 40 didn't seem as sort of overwhelming as far as you got to get everything up everywhere, like it is to 45. Between 40 and 44, it was a push, but it's not as ridiculous as the push between 44 and 45. And so
100%.
it kind of depends on how they release 52, right? So I agree with HP. I mean, the smart teams will get as many 44s up to 45 as possible and build out lateral power. But it will be interesting to see, in my opinion, what the requirements are at each level, what the MA investment looks like at each level, and then what 49 to 50 feels like.
Yeah, I mean, the rally cap would be juicy as well. Like when you push like K50 and the war all and everything is K50,
right?
On par with that, it's gonna be insane.
Yep.
I mean, that could change an entire team. So say you guys have your current standings as they are right now, as far as like challenge and all stars go. Do you think like a K50 alone could change the outcome of all of that?
I mean, not immediately, I would say. At least for a year or something, because I think a lot of bunch is going to quit the game as well when K50 comes out, especially the acquirers and the low acquirers for sure, because there's just no hope. If someone comes with like 12 million March on the ground and with like 7-8k buffs, it's just gonna obliterate all your troops no matter how well you have built it.
Right.
So
you won't even be able to touch them with the debuffs at that point. It'd basically just be a walk in the park. So
I'm saying like 6k debuff is also a very less occurrence. Like no one is debuffing 6.5k or something fully, so let alone like 8k or 7.5k. So it's gonna be completely messed up, to be honest.
Yeah.
But to answer, I think maybe your question a little bit more specifically, If there's a team with a K50, it depends on what team. If it's a team like at least one that I know of on C5 or 6 now or whatever, that has one K50 and no one joining rallies, the Warhol at 120 or 140 or whatever the endpoint is doesn't matter until you get to all stars for that player. You know, but is it a differentiator on like a C1 battlefield with actual lateral power and fillers that can fill the 120 or 140 compared to someone that can only fill the 95 to 110 or whatever? Yeah, probably a bit of, I mean, that does give you an edge. So I think you know, getting back to the team game kind of aspect of it, it depends on the team, it depends on the player.
It also would do, I mean, if they did do all that, they would increase rally caps too. So,
right, yeah,
like,
well,
who's gonna be like running those bigger rallies like 100? I mean, I think during All Stars they were running like 100 or maybe 110, something like that. But
Yeah,
if they increase it even more, it'd go up to like, I don't even want to
right.
think, maybe like 135 or something, 140
Yep.
maybe. But
Yep.
I mean,
And that's why
that type of rally would be insane to be
100%.
filling.
But I think that's part of the reason that I think K50 is a little bit farther away than a lot of people are talking about it. Because if you look at what's come out lately with Themistocles, or the new rally spot general, the Romulus gear, when you amplify it, it increases your rally cap. They're finding ways to give those players a way to spend without it being K50 yet. So it's a stopgap, is what I see. So that's why I think it may be a little bit farther away than people think right now.
Yeah. Sus, is that also with the 15% bonus though too from the Dawn Temple thing?
What's that now?
I'm talking to Sus. He's in chat.
In the
He said
chat,
that,
yeah.
he says that they can
sorry.
fill. I'm pretty sure that's RSP, or he's in RSP.
Yeah, I think it's good.
I think
Yeah,
he said
from
that
GoT,
they,
right?
yeah, they do. He said that they do 135 to 140 already in
Yeah.
COC. But I
So
think
you get
that's
the
what the
rally halls.
rally.
Yeah, you get all the 5-6 rally halls or like 7 rally halls in the game. So we have
Yeah.
like 8 competing in that competition. So you get all the rally halls as possible, and then keep on smashing the Dawn Tower, something like that is there. So it's like 15% or something. He's right. Like, so if
Yeah.
the more you smash it affects for like 10 minutes or something, and then you keep hold of as many rally halls as possible. Like we also held the rally halls in the previous match, and we sent like 115 at once. So like, you know, you have to spend some time on increasing your rally cap and get as many players in. So yeah, that aspect I think off slowly brought up, like in All Stars as well. If there's one K50 and he's sending like a 140 mil rally, so that's gonna impact more because, you know, he's gonna take off more power from the opponent as well. So yeah, there will be a slight edge to that team for sure. But I'm not sure if anyone is going to go K50 that quickly.
Yeah,
Maybe
I mean, it will be a. I mean, it depends. I mean, when I think it was Rhythm. Rhythm was like K44 day one when K45 came out.
Yeah, in 12
That
hours
dude,
event.
he was ready for it. So, I mean, it just depends on if people have I guess like stockpiles ready and stuff. But I mean, I'm hoping that they don't. I mean, I'm always hoping that they don't, because I mean, I always think it's too early. But then again, I'm not like a huge spender, so I mean, I don't know. But I like you guys said, I would rather build out more lateral and get the rest of the team to 44 and 45 than push one person up to K50, you know? Because I think it's just smarter. It increases everybody's defenses across the board and their marches. So, I mean, it just makes sense.
And meanwhile, you can keep saving up a little for your rally setter, and you know, later on when everyone is like close to 44 or 45, you can start pushing the rally setter a bit more for more, you know, rally buffs, because of course when your keeps are moving up to 44s and 45s, the march size increases for them. So if you're sending like 90 mil, they're gonna get filled very like with 9 or 10 people. So as more as you can get, right? So you can slowly start pushing the rally setter as well while you're at it.
Yep.
Hmm.
So let's see. I got a question. It's kind of a how do you guys think the All Stars has evolved? Do you think it's
That's a good one.
worse or better? Because I remember back when I first watched All Stars, when I first got into the game, the biggest keep was like I think 2.3 bill, and that was the biggest keep. Back on back in
2020.
8 or something like that. I think it was KJ Casey or something. He was the biggest keep at the time.
Are you talking about 2020 All Stars? The All Stars in 2020 during
Yeah.
COVID. Yeah, I know.
5 years ago. Damn.
Yeah. But I'd like do you think it's evolved for the better since then?
Like,
Or
I mentioned
worse?
before, the technicality has decreased a bit. Like, earlier I think in All Stars people used to strategize a bit more, and I mean, like, of course, like right now it's strategizing as well. Like you find the targets that can leak away the most points, or to find the people who heals like crazy in every hit they take. So that is still like a thing, but I would still say like technicality is very less. Like in finals especially, like you are heavily dependent on landing the rallies without the players getting the reins, because if for some reason the All Stars finals and semis get skewed with the rain setup for some reason, I don't know, it's kind of glitch or something. So even if the keep is not that good, well performing in against 100 mil rallies with like 50 mil range, it's still gonna like tank like crazy. So I think some kind of issues there with the game in there as well. But in general, I would say like the technicality has decreased a lot. So the faster you can kill, the faster you get the points, and the more prone to getting targeted in the last 5 minutes. So that thing has become a bit stagnant, I would say, and people winning on just serial healing, because there's a lot of ways to get speed ups. Earlier healings used to be a very crucial thing. Like people used to save up a lot till finals and then unleash it all at the same time. But right now it's like anyone can heal at any point of the time. Like I wouldn't mention the player, but we had one player like healing like crazy. He was going like triple the amount negative every hit he would take. But he kept healing, so it's not like we can just point them out. So I think in Death Ball as well,
No,
we
you
lost
can.
out this.
Just point them out right now. No, but yeah, I understand that that aspect. I think it's lost a lot of strategy. It's more so like fill the rally before the rains get in. If the rains get in, then even if the rains get in, it still somewhat goes even. But if the rains don't get in, I mean, you're hitting for basically half their power,
Well, and
Yeah.
I'll add that I think there's a game within a game on playing the lag, right? So like, how many times is your rally landing, and you're sitting there watching 8, 9, 10 rains roll in, and then you get a report, you're like, no way, dude, my march was sitting there for 45 seconds before I got a report. And so there's a whole sort of art to that as well, I think.
Don't
Art
you
is
think the
one
game
word for it.
evolves, or this? Like, I think it's just different. I think it's
Sorry, go
different
ahead.
strategy though too,
Oh.
right? So like you watch the different generals come out, you watch the different pairings come out, you watch it shift from offense to defense. I mean, I think it's a
Yeah.
constant evolution, right? I do think there's always going to be the ability to game the system with heals and stacking heals. I don't think that's ever changed. I think people are more knowledgeable about it maybe, but I think your strategies, there's still strategic elements in terms of reigning in defensive play.
Yeah.
There are teams that we play that I will tell you, they may not have the strongest offensive attacks, but there's no way you're going to beat them in the defensive game. They're just faster at reigning. They're faster at understanding that strategic element of defense. And so I think there has to be a rotational knowledge, a rotational constant learning that occurs, that's why I like the game.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to keep adapting, right?
So, out of curiosity, this goes for you too, Asta and GOT. You know, would you guys recommend this to anyone that doesn't currently play?
No, no.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
What's their
Saint
bit?
didn't hesitate. He was just like, no, no.
It depends what kind of line of work they're in.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm.
Bank robbers, sure, they can play. You know, there's certain people that can play this game.
Yeah.
Would I recommend it to just, my friend? Hell no. No, I would not.
So, I like to be random as shit. So sorry, but you just said it depends on the line of work. Speaking of lines of work, you guys don't have to be too specific, but like, what do you guys do, including you, Asta? Like, what's your line of work? You guys mind me asking?
Yeah, what's your social credit card number?
That was my next question.
Name, place of birth. Mother's maiden name.
Mine is a scam call center.
No, you didn't, dude. No, you fucking didn't.
He owns multiple.
He's a director.
He went there. I like that. Okay.
So funny.
You hiring by chance?
I don't mind sharing that I'm a headhunter.
A headhunter.
Mm-hmm.
You get to
Or
elaborate on that. I mean, I can take that in multiple directions.
Yeah, I
Go
thought
ahead.
two different aspects, but let's not make it an SW.
I'm an executive recruiter.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Nobody knows what that means. So if I say headhunter, they're like, oh, okay, I know what that is.
And I'm in healthcare, in a variety of ways.
A variety of ways. I mean,
You said nothing specific. That's it.
well, now I'm just more curious. I mean, like, are you like selling like body parts in the black market? I mean,
Great question.
Playing
The answer to that
Evony, he has to be.
is no. No, I'm both the business and clinical aspects of medicine. So,
that's awesome.
yeah, it's unfortunately it keeps me somewhat busy, so I'm not as helpful to the Bellamy sheets as I ought to be, as often as I would like to be. But yeah, there's just a lot of business going on, especially at the start of the year, but in healthcare.
Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Bellamy does executive headhunting. Slowly sells black market body parts. And we have Stan HP, who owns call centers. Asta. I'm just curious. What do you?
I
What do you
work
do?
in one of the call centers.
Oh.
Yeah.
You
I say I'm in IT.
just divert the capital off the side, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we have a collaborative work with Slowly.
I'm on the Microsoft helpline.
Jeez.
Hi.
Oh, interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. No
I
problem.
have a lot of questions, but I'm not diving into that anymore. Oh God. What? All right. Where do you guys see GOT in like the next 2 cycles of like Challenge and All Stars, or just the next cycle?
I think we're going to be competitive. That's my opinion. I think the competition is tough. There's a lot of good teams in our space, but as we kind of started the call saying we're in the process of rebuilding, I think we're going to find the right people. I think they're going to build forward. I think we're going to continue to grow and develop, and I think we've got a good plan of how to stay competitive and remain in that top echelon of the game. That's my opinion. HP, Bella, what do you?
I think, yeah, I mean, we once we have a full team settled down, we have like a bit more increased depth. We're gonna be more and more competitive. Like even still, like whatever we have at our expense, we try to make the best out of it. Strategize a bit more. Pointing out our weaknesses and where we can improve a bit, and then try to cover it up with something that can tackle that particular problem. And along with getting more players and increasing the depth of the team, we try to keep on improving the players as well. Like, okay, yeah, this aspect is something that can be worked upon. Like, for example, we sometimes make a keep checklist and have a conversation with each of them. Like, okay, this is something where we can work upon. This is something where it can be improved. So meanwhile, we are looking for more players in the team. At the same time, we are improving the ones that we already have. It's not like they need some kind of lessons or something, but it's just like a routine discussion, like just a knowledgeable discussion with each of them. Like, yeah, okay, this is something that can be worked upon or something like that. And I think, yeah, I mean, as we increase more and more depth, as we process towards the more keeps to be K44s and K45s, it's gonna increase a bit more. We're gonna tackle the alliances a bit better, and like we're still finding our grounds more and more as the time goes by. But like, yeah, I mean, in the coming challenge and the next one, we'll have something more static and stronger.
So oh, go ahead, buddy.
I was gonna ask a quick question. Are you guys
Oh god.
Are you guys looking forward to Vig coming to C1?
I slowly felt like you knew that was coming.
I mean, I think everyone sees that coming eventually, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it works.
I didn't like it when we went to C2, so.
Yeah, that sucked. We went from top 4 to like I forget what we finished our first season in C2, but man, was 60. That a wake up call? 60?
60
yeah.
Something. Yeah.
That was rough.
So
no.
That gets back to the whole evolution conversation, right? So, the competitive side of me, to answer your question a few minutes ago, says, I think this next Shalons is still going to be us growing and building, and I think that we'll be right on top the following Shalons. I don't think it's going to be this one. But all that stuff changes, because when they change the continents, that changes.
I agree, Sus.
Yes, I know Shalons is not just about continents, but when they change the continents, it changes the dynamics, changes the matchings and the pairings and the weekly events, so to speak. So all of that practice, it's so funny to me, because some teams are like, oh, I don't want to play RSP or I don't want to play VIG. I'm like, yeah, bring it on, because the more we play them, the more we learn.
Yeah.
And so it's not a bad thing to lose if you're learning something and getting better. Now, I don't want to lose every week, trust me.
Right.
I want to win just like everybody else, but it's not a bad thing to play those teams. I have a lot of respect for the teams like VIG and RSP and NEF and NFG and WEF who compete at the higher levels, and they make you think twice about everything you thought you knew. It's not a bad thing.
Yep. No, yeah, I agree, and I just wanted to get your aspect on how you feel like, or how that would change, I guess, Shalons in that instance, because it would be, I mean, if every big team went into Shalons together, it would be like you, RSP, VIG.
We did that 2 Shalons ago.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. 2 Shalons ago, I don't know what they did, but second for semifinals, all of a sudden, instead of playing the mix that we were used to, all of a sudden the top 4 were against each other, right? So you automatically knocked out 3 of the top 4 in semis.
Yeah.
So we've been there and we've done that, and it sucked.
I think there's a certain aspect that sucks, but at the same time, it's good learning, and it's
fair
fun.
play.
Yeah. So
the results wouldn't have been that drastically different, but that was like my second. Yeah. I see Jake joining in. Nice. You should be up here on stage, Jake. Yeah, it was challenging as somebody. It was my first real All-Stars in GOT, and I was actually feeling like I was gonna, or not All-Stars, but Shalons, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna do great. And then all of a sudden we faced all the top teams in semis, and it was like, what just happened? But it was definitely a lesson in, it doesn't matter how good you are or how big you think you are, there's a chance things are going to shift underneath your feet, so be ready.
little side note. Does GOT have a Discord? And if you guys do, can I share that like publicly for you guys?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Bell, would you mind sending me the link for that?
I'd be happy to do that.
Thank you. Man, so I can't wait till you guys get VIG. So that means they won't be in my content anymore. No offense.
You still have NFC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I'll just tell them I'll fill for them that week and not show up. You know.
We'll still have Karu too. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah, 519 DDP. They're like quite prominent, and VAL is also there. Val.
Yeah,
Yeah.
These are
Val.
like some solid teams as well.
Good old
And also,
Tay, man.
there was one good trap setup team. I think RST, if I'm not wrong, they were in C2 as well. Like they made finals consistently for some few like challenge, last 2-3 challenge. They made finals, I think.
Who is it?
RST or something like that.
RST.
It's quite a good alliance. Yeah.
Oh yeah, RST. Yeah, we used to fight them weekly, and then they got a merge, and they got a lot more power behind them too.
I was gonna say they do sound familiar.
Yeah, we fought them like I think we fought them 3 weeks in a row in BOC before.
Yeah, RST. They beat us by 30k there. Yep. 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 I'm done looking.
It was all pretty. Yeah, I mean it was close matches, and then there was some that weren't.
Right.
That
yeah.
was during our rebuild phase.
Yeah, that's rough. The
So-
rebuild phases are tough, man.
The transition takes a decent amount of time, to be honest. First, the player needs to get settled in, then they need to get, acquainted with the team and how the team works. A lot of things, a lot of factors, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's tough for the players joining in as well. Like, take some time to settle in properly, to be honest.
So, I mean, we're talking kind of like high end, like late game. I'm gonna refer to it as late game. Like you guys and everything like that. Pushing top 4 consistently, having multiple players in like all stars, majors, and everything like that. Could you guys kind of relate to smaller alliances or newer alliances, with the way that you guys build your team? Like, is there any advice for teams that aren't as competitive as you? Could you give any advice to them?
Yeah. So, I mean, a few things. I mean, it depends on what continent we're talking about. If we're talking about C6, I would say my best advice is sort of identify a few players who either have experience and know what they're talking about, and ask them a lot of questions and try and learn and grow, and then figure out how your team chemistry works. And I would have a pretty low tolerance or threshold for moving on from players or rearranging alliances or mergers with other alliances to build a PvP battlefield-oriented team. I mean, I think that's early server stuff that is super essential. And the toxic elements early in the alliance, no matter how much they spend or how big they are, just move on. Those things end up killing you later. I think for the alliances in like C4, C5, most of them have gotten past that. They're in the, are we dominating the server, or do we still have conflict there, which can get you into a lot of trouble with reporting and things like that when you're running monsters and stuff. That's really more a matter of how do you build and grow? How do you support lateral growth? And do you do that or not? You look at a team like PPK, who's in C4 now, C5 previous, and I'm friends with a lot of their players. They're really, really solid all the way around, and they've built laterally so well, and they're very tough to beat. And so they've kind of figured out that recipe earlier than a lot of that continent has. So I think that's kind of my best advice is early build a team, find the right people for the team, find someone who can help you be good at PvP, and then after that, build good relationships and build lateral growth. HP Bella, your thoughts?
Like I would considering the roots of most of our like recruits from the other continents to C1 GOT. Like we still have the roots from the older alliance that we played in first. So I would say like there are three different points I would want everyone to focus on. The first one would be like keep, like as Offlowly mentioned, we need to keep the differences aside. Like combine all the alliances as many as possible. Create a proper team in your server. Even if you're new, if you're old or not, try to let go of that. I mean, some people have the ego either while they're spending or while they're at the game. So need to keep that aside and combine the team properly. Second one I would say is like there are a lot of community Discord servers and everything around right now. Like it didn't used to be there before in like 21, 22. So players used to get distracted and be wasteful about their stuff. Many of them wouldn't know like what's the most optimized way of achieving something, either in an event or keep building wise or buff wise or what the layer should be, things like that. So there are a lot of known Discords and communities around. Try to join them and take as many advice as possible. Stick to one, but try to take as many inputs so you get more and more clarity of it. And then the third one is like invest properly laterally. Definitely never just focus on just one person doing everything. Try to have an organized setup. Try to have proper organization for your RSS distribution, for the type of buff you are focusing on. If you need, for instance, if you are like C5, C6, and you're facing like 50-60 billion alliances, you would definitely try to focus on rallying with range or cap, something like that. So decide what your team is going towards, decide what kind of buffs you can get as quickly as possible in there, and try to build that laterally. Try to have a proper organized setup in terms of, I said earlier, RSS and the keep level that you're pushing, the type of buffs you're pushing, things like that. Have a proper communicative alliance, make a Discord or a line chat or a WhatsApp chat, whatever is possible. So if you keep these three things in mind, no matter if you are competing at the top level or the lowest level, it's still gonna be functional for you. So it's just the same basic setup for all of them.
Well said, Saint. Well said, man. How you feel, by the way, man?
Good.
I never asked how you were actually doing, and I feel guilty about that. I was just busting your chops.
It's alright. I think it's gonna be better by morning, most probably, but not too sure. Like if it's more deeper, then obviously it's gonna take time to recover a bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Off slowly seems to be in the medical field, man. He can probably, give you some good stuff.
And after our last SDS, he knows where I live now, so you just come on over, man.
Oh, you get the personal address and everything, man. You're good.
Yeah. He doxed him to me and Bella.
Yeah.
No wonder Saint's hurting. He probably woke up in the tub with ice on his stomach.
Yeah. He's missing a lung.
Took a kidney out.
Right? It's not your ribs, man.
That's why God gave you two.
Yeah. Hey, I know even Asta, Bell, Off slowly saying, would you guys be open to, like public questions? Would you guys mind hanging out some more if anyone has any questions for you guys?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Happy to.
Oh, that'd be sweet. That'd be awesome. So, chat, if any of you guys have any questions,
I saw that Sean has been
please,
asking about
please ask.
dealing with people not responding to R5s and R4s, and I think he's gotten some great advice. My advice would be you have to be a little bit brutal and kick them, and if they want back in, they got to learn how to respond.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm surprised Asta hasn't kicked me yet. Don't you love his sigh?
I've had some days.
Yeah, there was a nice little pause there, Asta.
I mean, I've had some days. And then someone comes up and they're like, no, don't do that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, 'cause I've seen a few questions, but I didn't want to ask them like just while we were kind of like talking about things. I missed them.
Jake really wants to come up here and talk about Sunday's COC match.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say I heard I'm gonna see a 140 million rally.
I mean, we can add Jake as long as you guys are okay with it. I mean, I don't mind adding Jake into the Discord so we can join the call. That'd be.
I don't mind.
Yeah,
So it is going to be, for those that don't know, COC on Sunday, I think, in HP, correct me if I'm wrong. So I know at least you've got RSP Vig and GOT all in the same COC. Anybody else?
Yeah, we have CDI, GOD, and PPK as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to
PPK.
be a
Bloodbath.
pretty intense battle. I'm hoping to
Yeah.
record it.
So, Belle, you said record. Are you against live streaming it? Out of curiosity.
Am I against live streaming it? No.
Have
As
a
long as it
delay
doesn't
on
impact my ability
Can
to
you-
play.
But can you do it? No again.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So I've got the recording part down. I've got the editing part down. I'm not sure I have the live stream part down yet. But
It's the same
get there.
thing. It's the same thing. You know, it's very easy.
As
I
long
promise
as
you.
it doesn't impact, but live streaming can, and depending on your stability of your Wi-Fi, etc., can impact the quality of play too.
Mm.
Yeah,
I know
you
a
don't
few
have a
headhunters that
Wi-Fi
can help you.
connection.
Speaking of records, share their YouTube channel, Mr. Yours. I can do that. Yes. So GOT does have a Discord. They also have a YouTube channel.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
who leads up that YouTube channel?
Ah,
I think it's the person that said that they were recording, possibly.
That would be me.
Well, I'm just making sure so people are aware.
There is a transition occurring. Be patient. I'm learning. Mr. Yours has to teach me.
It's easy. Ask away. I got you.
yeah. There's one more option. Like we can live stream and record as well. Like if Mr. Yours joins us.
Yeah.
That makes it
think
really easy.
my only stipulation is that Discord doesn't take both HP and I out of Discord voice for 10 minutes
Oh my
like it
God,
did
yeah.
last UFC.
Oh no.
Glitch
That was
for both of us
classic.
at the same time.
At the same time, we both got like silence in Discord.
Oh, that's
Good
horrible.
Yeah.
So you've heard us talking about first setter, second setter. So we have first, second setter. We also have third and fourth setters. So we have HP, who's a jump in and he helps. Glor jumps in and he helps, right? So last COC it was HP and off slowly. And of course, magically, they both get taken out for about 10 minutes. And all of a sudden, all of us are waiting for the rallies going, where'd they go? What happened?
And I kept putting them up, and I was like, why are there only 20 million people in here? What are you guys doing?
Oh no.
all of a sudden, I saw the rallies. I was like, wait a minute. They're throwing, they're slinging, and we're not joining. Come on, guys.
So speaking of COC, I mean, did you say that was this Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Day after tomorrow, I think.
How many fillers do you guys need?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Because I
Yeah,
heard.
I mean,
I will say I have somebody filling OG already.
Well, I heard
Decided.
Asta's free on Sunday.
There you go.
I was offering Asta for you guys.
Why am I being volunteered?
What?
I got church on Sunday, actually. So,
Oh,
you know.
bullshit. You don't go to church, dude. Get out of here.
I'm very religious. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, right. Have you seen our live streams? Yeah, right. If you guys do
Peanut
need
gallery
a
in the
filler.
background, my husband. He says the Church of Evony is where you're going, Asta.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you guys want it live streamed, let me know. If you need help, I will gladly help you guys with that. As long as I'm available, and then I'm sure Asta, he'll be more than happy to help too.
Once again, volunteered.
Yeah.
Voluntold.
Voluntold. I had enough of that in the military, man. I don't need
That's
all
my
that.
favorite. Yeah, I was an ops for way too long. Voluntold is something I'm very good at.
I mean, or you know, Bellamy could just.
No, if you guys do need a filler, I mean, I don't mind. So
We'll
I'm not
definitely let you
playing.
know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't. I have
really
not
definitely.
heard who we need yet, but we will definitely let you guys know.
Oh, good. I'm not, you know, I'm just saying, if you guys need one, just let me know.
Yeah, he's more than available.
I'm not
at all
I'm
times.
not volunteering everyone else. Jeez.
Well, is Jake refusing to join us on stage?
I think so.
He
He's
just,
he said not
he just
to.
wants to sit in the peanut gallery and make comments. He doesn't want to come on stage and defend himself.
Hmm.
Yeah, Jake is claiming you're filling for him, Mr. Yours.
I don't know about that.
Jake is really good at ghosting on these events. You know, he ghosted on the last event we were supposed to do together too. Something about being hungry.
Oh, typical excuse. I'm hungry. I can't.
He had to go get food.
Mm. Yeah, he's ignoring our phone call right now. Yeah, so that happened to me. Belle did that. I'm still blaming Belle for that. She claims it was X-Wing at one time after All Stars. Trying to force me on stage.
It was definitely X-Wing.
I don't know. I get a message from you and then an invite right after, so it might have just been the timing. Who knows?
Yeah, no comment. It was again, probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna blame the tequila. It was an all-stars event and there were supposed to be several of us that showed up and it ended up being just me and X-Wing, and I was like, where's all the people? Because I'm actually shy and I don't want to talk. Why am I here? So yes, I absolutely was calling you, trying to drag you on stage. You ignored me.
I was busy. Is that Jake? Did Jake just join?
Yo, what's
Yeah.
up, Pat? What's
Rise and shine, Cupcake. Get your pants on. Let's go.
You don't need
I
pants.
was
There's
had
no
to join
video.
in for a minute. I'm in bed.
It's all good. I've been trying to get one of you guys on video. No one will join me on video?
Oh no. Got to get yours to 6K subs and then we'll go on video.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Come on, man.
Maybe you can, if you allow Jake to manscape.
It can't be that bad.
So
He's
Jake,
a
what are
young
you
guy.
doing to prepare for COC?
A little bit of coining, you know, the usual. A little bit of planning. Practicing my teleporting in server.
You want to give us all your secrets so we can prepare?
Yeah. In DMs though, not on stream. I'm gonna get booted and looted. No, but it's gonna be a fun match. This has been a really fun stream to watch, though. I gotta drop out though. I'm about to fall asleep.
You're good, man.
All right, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
Sorry, bro.
Thanks for jumping in. Bye.
Yeah, thanks, man. See you around.
I honestly, I thought a lot more people would have questions for you guys. I mean, shit, I'm not good at this. I'm a little bit shy, but if you guys could give any advice to
this guy,
dude, I am. All right, listen, you don't
Always with
believe
the
it.
bullshit, man.
What would be any advice that you guys would give? You know, just moving forward in the game, whether it's a keep 20 or a keep fucking 50. You know, what would you guys suggest? It's a very open question. Sorry.
I think personally, just one thing, like not just for moving servers and everything. I would say like whoever is deciding to like move their accounts, like leave their current accounts and move to a new one. Not saying just for joining GOT or just interest for us joining us, But in general, like if someone is thinking of, yeah, my server is not good or my team is not that good and I need to move away from this, but they are getting a bit attached to their accounts, they should just take the leap of faith, because expecting the merges to be good, I would still say like 10% of the merges are good, and that comes in like 3 months or 4, like 5 or 6 months a year. So I would say take the leap of faith
don't overthink it. If the team you are joining it that's inviting you is good, if the team is decent, if it's organized and the people are good, the server is good, just make the jump. It
Yeah.
hurts to leave your account that you have built from scratch, but definitely the return will be worth it. So it's
Yeah.
just not for joining GOT. It's not a specific, but whichever team is inviting you, if it's good enough, the server is good enough, if the things are in place, just make the jump.
And I think that's a more specific way of sort of the answer that I had in my head, which is go find a way to have fun. It's meant to be fun, right?
Yeah.
So find that spot wherever it is. Like you can't get sort of landlocked on something that you don't enjoy doing, and you go in and you're pissed off the whole time. That's what's the point, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, certainly.
I mean,
I think that's a big one. That's a big one for me, is play the game the way you want to play the game. So yes, you can try to hit top echelons, top all stars, but that's not always what's the most fun, depending on how you want to play. Some people really like SVS, some people like the puzzles, and there's nothing wrong with that. Find the environment and the team that fits you, and don't feel pressured to be something that you're not. I think that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to sound too philosophical, but I spent probably 6 months on my original server trying to figure out a way to shift or adjust the environment into a more competitive environment, because I was seeking something that was a little bit more battle oriented, and that's just not who we were. That server is doing beautifully. They're having a great time, but it's a different environment. GOT was a much better fit for me. So don't be afraid to explore other options.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
Very good.
Someone in chat said, Jamini said, what do y'all do if you don't have a member in Battlefield not doing their assigned job?
So we find the address and we just execute them. That's it.
Why did
Wow.
you sound country while you said that?
Because
Yours.
he's from Georgia.
All I hear is Balvi saying, "No solo, no solo."
Just testing.
It's for science.
Jabuki, no solo. Just testing.
Yeah. you just have a conversation.
Happy
and then,
more.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the tequila talking.
For those that don't know, there are several of us in the GOT Alliance that have T-shirts that say "Happy More" because we adore Balvi, and that's no solo, no solo. Happy more.
I like that. What else?
But yeah, I mean, to answer the question, I would say, like, even if someone is not following the plan, just don't call them out publicly. Don't try to, insult or shame them amongst the team or something like that. Just try to reach them from the behind and talk to them in private and talk like, okay, this is something in a good, polite manner, obviously. Like, this is something which can be improved upon, not like you're doing it wrong, you should be better, you are shit, and things like that. Don't say that. Just try to reach them out a bit and try to tell them, okay, this is the actual way of doing this. If you can, please try it again. And you keep on insisting a bit, they will definitely improve over time for sure.
Okay, so what happens if that's been going on for like almost 2 years now?
That's, I think, a tough
players. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to say anything. He's in the call, but
wow.
I keep trying to lead this guy down the pathway, and he does not
Damn.
follow.
Damn. Well, I apparently have to, like Saint said, you just execute him. Apparently.
Yeah.
Love you too, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Ooh, I like this one. Question: what does GOT do to prepare for Battlefield? Maps, instructions, etc.
So I mentioned earlier I've got an ops background, and so that's probably one of the things that I most love about GOT is we're very organized. So we've got a hive map. Everybody knows their spot. We know what our roles are. We know where we're supposed to go. We don't have a Battlefield sign up. If you are in the Battlefield roster, you are signed up, and your responsibility is to show up or find a sub. and that sub needs to know where they need to go, right? And it's not militant in any way, shape, or form, but it's definitely an environment of, hey, we're here to win, and so pay attention and listen to the strategy. I will say again, I think that HP, V, off slowly, X-Wing in the day, Glor in the day, the strategy, the time that they spend thinking about the teams that we're going to play when it comes to the big events and the thoughts around strategy. We're always talking in our internal chat about, hey, let's try this or let's try that, and thinking ahead. So it's definitely strategic. There's definitely a well thought out plan. It's easy
Yeah,
when you have that, like, I know where I'm going to go on the map. I know what my role is. I only have to learn the new strategy. I don't have to learn where to go. So I think it makes it easier.
Right.
yeah. I think there's a good setup. Like, for example, if you're facing like the last COC we faced EDP and El Patron's alliance from 118, sorry, and there was
Yeah.
this 1940 alliance. So we had to do a little bit of research. Like, Nin found the players that are top players, and like Nin from our alliance, she found the top players who are the weak links in there and who are someone can be targeted a bit, and what kind of setup they have, if they have a good rally setup or not. So, and then we made a list of things that needs to be done before we are prepping up for the battlefield. Then we had a good 6-point checklist of, yeah, this is something that can be done at this point of the time. And if someone from there doesn't show up, we make a proper filler list as well. Like, yeah, like this account is filled by this person, so we arrange fillers as well. So things like that goes on depending on what kind of battle that is. If it's a normal BOG or something like that, and it's not something that much important at that point. So yeah, even if someone doesn't show up, it's not that big a deal. And if we can't find a filler, so it's not like every time we can get fillers and things like that. So even if some small unimportant battlefields if we are having, it's fine. Like it's okay if someone doesn't show up or get a filler. But generally, like, we manage to get the fillers around. Like, if someone is missing out, they inform us in the chat, and then we try to find the fillers around. Then have the hive map to them, and then tell them what the role is. If the role is something special, like if let's say Offspur is not appearing and we need a second setter, so someone will fill in. Either I will fill in or I will get someone who can be secondary setter as well. So something like that could be done. Sometimes it could be like a very experienced player. Sometimes it could be like a medium experienced player. Like, yeah, obviously, like, the pillars are mostly capable, like the good ones. So we try to get them in, and then accordingly explain to them a bit if you have a different plan or something like that, and we try to execute it. And generally, personally, like, I think we try to have a backup plan as well. So if like the first one is not working, then we can make a transition or pivot from there, or mid game as well. Like, so we need to have the players, the fillers that are quick to adapt. So if we are changing some kind of plan in there, we just inform on the voice call, and then they make the switch. So I think to make the battlefield smooth as possible, make like a small checklist. Like, you should have a hive map, you should have a voice call that should have the whole rally team inside. You should have the particular plan or strategy that you have prepared, if there's any. If you have portal people assigned, you give them the portal spots and things like that. Like, you have these things prepared and send it over to the team like day before or something, so they have enough time. Everyone is a different time zone, so they have enough time to read everything through, so they're more properly organized and ready for it.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Mr. Yours, I'd love to respond to Scott, who asked about newer teams and using battlefields for training ground, practice ground. 100%. That is absolutely what you should be doing. I don't care how big or how strong your alliance is. Battlefields are a great place to practice new strategies. I mean, we have intentionally gone in saying, hey, we might lose, but let's try this differently. I think that it's a great place if you have somebody who's thinking about setting or who's never set before, to give them a chance. Battlefields are places where you can lose. It's one event, especially if you're not talking about the non-ultimate battlefields. You should be using that. That is exactly what Battlefield should be used for, especially as a newer server. Use it as much as you can.
Thank you for answering that. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, trying to get an adequate team and then the whole process, of the whole Battlefield thing. I can say when I first did Battlefield, I left. I didn't know what I was doing. I got zeroed and I was like, this game sucks. You know, I don't like this. All my troops are dead, so I left the battlefield.
You just made my husband's day. He's in the background waving his hand, going, "That's me."
I'm glad I'm not the only one. So, Crazy E wants to ask you guys, is it better to be reactive with rains, or is it just a pre-rain?
There's no easy answer for that. It depends on who you're playing.
It depends on who you're playing and who you are, right?
Yep.
Pre-rains, to a certain extent, get you locked in a spot and leave you susceptible. I mean, it depends on what you can do, what the keeps defense can do, what your expected opponent's offense will do. All of those play a factor. Getting good at reactive rains is a skill, and it's one I would concentrate on developing now, especially in the current game.
Yeah. It's like a safer option as well, I think, as Oslo is saying. Like you get stuck when you're pre-winning someone, and let's say they set a fake rally on someone and you know that they're getting pre-rain, and instead they target someone else who is already inside the keep. So that's something which will be a bit problematic. So like same way, like if it's a good day in the game, if there's no lags or something like that, like we had one battlefield against I think NEF, where our reens and our rallies would settle in like a minute or so, and theirs would like settle in like 15 or 20 seconds. So if the game is working properly, fine. It's gonna be the reacting reens are more better. Like you can fill more and more in the accounts.
Good answers.
I think that you have to practice reactive rains. And I think it's something that's one of the hardest skills to get really fast and really good at, because you're battling technology. But I think that if you can get really, really good at reactive rains, that you can rule the battlefield. However, you have to have the right players sitting still. I think that was a really important lesson for me, is that there's not one playing style. So we've played with some players that are the most brilliant bouncers I've ever seen. And they're the ones that you want in your battlefield if you're going to try to port swap, right? You want them playing those keeps that are a little bit smaller, that are going to get zeroed really quickly, because they're going to attract the hit, and then they're going to port swap and they're going to win. And that's a skill that I don't have. I mean, that's not my strength, right? But I think that you need those players. You need that mix, that variety. But then there are other players that do better when they're rain. So a lot of it is knowing your players, knowing what they're good at, and using them the right way.
I did sus.
Yeah,
I did.
I think people
What's
have
up, Nas Hussein?
a bit skewed idea, like in the top alliances, only the big keeps are the one who gets to participate and things like that. But even if you're like K40 or something, and you're getting targeted a lot. So personally, I would say like try to use that to your advantage. Like send like a small range rally out when you're joining a rally, and then immediately pull back so the enemy thinks that your march is stuck or something in the rally, and then you jump and try to port sub into the with the calves or ground rallies. Like you see what they're rallying you with. So this last instant, just jump out. So like some strong defensive keeps you have in an alliance list. So for example, for us, it's generally Virus who's doing the port swaps. So you would just jump in a cab or a ground rally, and he would go heavily positive. So that's something that can be salvaged around. But of course, like you have to maintain the ports for the team as well. So a lot of factors comes in. But yeah, every kind of keep can some kind of contribution they can keep on giving to the team.
Well, and I'll even add to that, even after zeroed and not playing the heal, there's still ways to contribute, whether that's flipping buildings. I mean, some of the most brilliant play I've seen is HP on a tiny account. One of my first battlefields with GoT, playing an account that was already zeroed, that found ways to trap people who were going to port out of our rallies, as well as making sure no one was port swapping into the rallies we sent and they ported out of. I mean, on and on and on. I mean, the skill set there is just stay active and learn and hone those skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, because like I know me personally, I went from the type of battlefield where I first met Asta in a live stream where we just bounced around just from building to building, and all of a sudden he invited me to join them on server 529, in a bigger alliance, and all of a sudden this rally's being set, this march is coming at me, and it was quite the different experience. And adapting to that was definitely different, so to speak. Who just joined up? Who was it?
Jaboki just joined.
That was
Hey.
Bo?
One of our OGs here.
Oh man.
Hey guys.
Our
Hey.
leader's here. Come tell us that everything we said was right or wrong.
Would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, Jabok. Been playing. Sorry, my voice is still a little broken because I just woke up. But been playing for pretty much 5 years now.
Oh.
Been with GOT for about 2.5 years, I believe. And all I would say is, I mean, the two alliances I've been playing for, it's like playing two different games. It's just so different. Playing for a small alliance where you spend all your time, you know, fighting with the other alliances on the server, and then moving to a one alliance server. I would say, you know, it's a huge difference because you can focus on SVS, you can focus on Battlefield. You don't have to you don't have to make sure that you kill enough monsters because you kill them pretty much all anyway. And no toxicity on the server, nice people around. And I'd say that, you know, GOT is like my second family. It's just absolutely incredible how aligned we are as a team. So I've been, full intro, but I'm loving it, and I've been loving it.
Good to hear, man. Thank you for that. And I'm sure people have questions for you or comments. Personally, I'm generally curious. You know, X-Wing always spoke very highly of you. All of you, I should say. I don't want to keep you guys out of it. But you, Jabok, he spoke very highly of you all the time. You know, what was the departure like for you when X-Wing announced that he was leaving?
Yeah, very sad. Because, you know, he's an unbelievable team player, and we worked hard on building a strong, you know, Discord server. I created it at the beginning, but you know, with the work he's done and all the sheets and the spreadsheets that he created that he wanted to share with the entire community. So it was not about building those spreadsheets and just keeping that for ourselves, but sharing them with the entire Evony community. Brought so many people to join our Discord server. And that the reason I'm saying this because this is X-Wing, right? He's just an unbelievable team player. So it was really sad, but at the same time, you know, I mean, you got to move on with your life. He has other goals right now. You never know whether he's not going to come back at some point. But it was a great partnership. But I think, you know, the most important is we try to let people grow from within. And Bovi, you know, took over, and Off Slowly, who's an amazing new partner, you know, stepped up as well. So yeah, we'd love to have people coming from other alliances, but we want to help our people grow from within, which is very important.
Yeah, that's huge. And you know, I think I made the comment earlier. You know, one thing that impressed me a lot was during the Ragnar event. I think I was in a voice call with you and X-Wing at the time. I forget who else was there, but the bond that you guys have, the trust and the loyalty is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna reference it again, but you guys were all within, you know, top 20 for the Ragnar event, and I think it was X-Wing who made the comment, you know, well, we might as well push the boat. You know, I'm going to, you know, I want to say pay his way, but assist in helping him make sure that he secures the top 3. And like, I don't hear that too often across the Evony community. You know, I don't hear people helping each other in that type of standard anyways. So that's huge for you guys as a team, and you know, I look up to that, and definitely keep doing what you guys are doing, man. That's impressive work.
Well, thank you. That's really, you know, our philosophy. Is this is a team. It's there's no competition within the team, and we know that the success of this team is to help, you know, elevate, you know, the smaller players. We've all invested personally in those smaller players to make them stronger. There's a lot more we can do, and there's a lot more we will do, because it's a process, right? And you look at the other big teams, how much they investing, how much money they're investing in this game. So you always have to be on top and try to catch up. I can tell you that we are determined and extremely motivated to, you know, to stay on top and become even more stronger. But it will not be at the cost of breaking this this partnership and this family spirit that we have. That's paramount to us.
That's inspirational, man. It is. And I wish you guys the absolute best. You guys deserve nothing but the best as far as players go, you know? It's very hard to come by what you guys have, I think, as an alliance. How do you guys, you know, how are you going to maintain that, you know, with all these changes in leadership and everything? You know, like on a day-to-day basis, week-to-week basis, how do you guys maintain that so consistently?
Tough question. Can anyone help me with that one?
I'll speak up as probably the newest of the members on right now. It's in some ways it's effortless because the core group is there, and like I said, I mean, my first handful of experiences, like Jabok messaged me and said, "Hey, welcome to the team. We can't wait to have you. Let me know what I can do to help." And so did Virus and Balvi and Bellamy and X-Wing and everybody, HP eventually. And I had really long conversations about the mechanics in the game itself, and it's easy to stay engaged. It's easy to stay a part of it. It's easy to feel welcome because everyone has mutual respect, and we're all here to have a good time and to play well. And so we have a sort of singular goal, but a lot of personalities, but we're all working in the same direction. So it's easy to fit in when everyone's rowing the same direction and say, okay, this is the direction we're rowing, let's go. That's my perspective.
Well said. Well said.
So I want to, if I may, I want to say one more thing about someone. And I want to talk for a second about Saint HP. I mean, this brother is unbelievable. He doesn't even have a keep in the team, and you know, he's working so hard to improve the team. He's always available. You know, I mean, you don't even have your name out there on the keep, and you work super hard and achieve like incredible results for the team, help recruiting, you know, destroyed the other teams at the last All-Star semifinals, you know, filling in for me. You know, he's an unbelievable setter, you know, so I want to on this call right now, I want to thank HP for everything he's doing for us.
Second
You're
that.
here.
And he's part of the team, by the way. He's in the team, but thank you.
Big round of applause. Well said, Jabok, man. You're a legend, bro.
Appreciate it, guys.
And humble.
Very humble. That's hard to come by. I mean, egos seem to be. That's one thing I can definitely say about GOT. You know, is like I've played against a lot of people with huge egos. You know, that can kind of demolish a team. And as far as GOT goes, you know, there's no egos that compete. You know, I think one of you guys said that earlier. I think Jabok just said that. You know, like you're not competing against each other. You know, and that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. True.
I know someone had a question. I know Bellamy, you mentioned that you guys are a full NAP server. I mean, do you guys participate in anything as far as like KE at all?
No, we are 100% NAP. It was funny. I was talking to another player earlier about recruiting and saying, you know, it's interesting, even as the gold subs are won, you know, our alliance is in a good place. So most of us already have all of our gold subs and our sub slots filled, and we hand them out to the server, right? It's a random kind of world chat, who needs the sub, and let's take it and give it to somebody who can use it. And when SVS comes, if another server needs to, or another alliance needs to step up to take throne and help us out, everybody jumps in. So, and even though we're an app server, when SVS happens, everybody's bubbled, and nobody is not bubbled. So even the smaller alliances that are still part of our server and enjoy playing, put their bubbles up and they stay protected and don't cost us SVS, which happens on other servers I've been on. So I enjoy it. I would much rather spend my RSS on building my keep than on repairing my keep. So yeah, that's a personal choice, but
and you're exactly right. I mean, gold subs go out to the server, and I think are definitely appreciated. But sometimes we have players that rotate through too, on sort of like goodwill missions, or you know, hey, Ymirs are coming up. Do you mind if we like hop in for the weekend or whatever? And so I think that helps a lot too. I mean, it's just a really collaborative sort of server. I don't know that it's always been that way. I mean, I haven't pressed Valvy on it, but she said it like, we went through the hard times. Those are over. We're good now. I think that's how she put it.
So
I've been here a year and it hasn't changed in a year, which I'm glad about.
Right.
I don't know about prior to that.
because
Jabot could answer that
50-50.
question.
Not better than you did.
Also, I think they're scared of V and Javoki. I remember someone
This
dropped
is
a
good.
bomb on FPS and we were really close. So we just shouted like, "What the hell are you doing? If you want your alliance to be safe, just bubble up." And they literally bubble up in like 2 minutes.
I think when V said we went through the hard times, I think she meant they went through the hard times.
I will say Scary V comes out at the beginning of SVS. If anybody's doubles dropped, you're zero. So.
I wouldn't want to be there for that. He's intimidating, but yet so nice. So how did you
Jamal,
guys
we were
get to
talking
that?
earlier about V, who's like, you know, mother, or I think I'm going to say mother. Offsily might have said grandmother, but the person on the team that gives you the cookie and tells you you're doing a great job and then smacks you upside the side of the head and says, "Why did you do that?"
A good way of putting it. How did you guys get the
But we
entire
love her.
server
We're
to get to
grateful.
that mindset?
I can't answer that. It's been that way since I've been here. So HP or Jabok are going to have to answer that.
HP.
I think it was this like quite like once I talked with V, so she told me like they used to be a little bit rampant at the beginning, but I think like 2 or 3 years ago she burned a lot of them when they
Oh
were not,
my.
implying with the whole setup. But then they understood the advantages as well. Like they used to get a lot of free subs and things like that, sometimes free RSS as well. So they kind of like agreed with the whole setup. and then they realized like, yeah, okay, all the big keeps, like, some of our team members like Beachy and I think Boneless, so some of them were like in different alliances on the same server. So we started to get all of them in the same roof, and then she started to, ask the alliances to comply. It's not like dictating or something, but it's like proper mutual understanding in the beginning after the whole setup, the whole rampant display that they had. So
Hmm.
after that, I think they started doing their own things, and meanwhile, respecting the alliance as well. And as far as I see, like a lot of Japanese and Vietnamese players are on the server, and they are quite friendly with us as well. It's not like we burned them 3 years ago, so they are like holding some kind of spite against us or something like that. They were just very, friendly and just normal with us as well. They even support during SVSs, reset thrones and things like that, and chase behind some small players. Like they keep contributing to the server still. They're still active. Like most of the server which have a very big alliance, the other alliances are mostly dead or inactive. But in our server, I think we have 4 or 5 alliances that are still active and playing.
Yep.
They
Oh,
keep
wow.
contributing.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know because I mean I've played on both, and I can't personally say which one's better. Like having a nap server or a bubble of burn server, and I always like asking that question. Like, what would you guys suggest moving forward? If I know you went through the burn phase, but I mean, do you think it's ultimately
Mhm.
better to have that burn phase than go nap, or kind of just go
I
bubble?
I
Yeah,
kind of
sorry.
think you
I
kind
think
of have to start nap and then go through a bubble or burn phase, and then you have to find your way to peace again.
Hmm.
It's just my sense of the evolution of a server, but I don't know. That's my opinion.
I agree. I don't think that you get to nap without a burning phase. I think that there are too many
Yeah.
players that don't really understand why the bubble is important for SBS. They're playing again. We talked earlier about the fact that everybody has to play the game the way they want to play the game, and there are alliances and servers that play more for just the farming, and there are alliances and servers that play for the battles. But if you have that stress on your server, the bubble or burn's got to happen, and the alliance that wants to battle is going to win that battle, and they have to be willing to burn. And once that happens, then the alliance understand or the server understands. They begin to step in line, and then all of a sudden you start to get this kind of everybody moving the same direction that makes it much easier for everybody. My opinion.
Hmm. Okay.
I'm surprised we never got a merger, um,
Yeah.
because that would be a different thing to have a big another
Yes.
big alliance coming to our server, right?
Right. Yep. Yep.
Do you think being
It
nap
would
at
be
all
good to
hurts you
have one.
guys? Like for SBS or anything?
Not really. I mean, as I said earlier, like the medium alliances that we still have on the server, they keep on contributing some of the other way. Like, for example, let's say some of the keeps is unbubbled in the enemy server, and they just get their alt or something. If they can kill by themselves, they can just port and kill. Otherwise, they just send DM to either Jabuki or V or the virus or anyone in the GOT alliance if the target is too big for them. So in a way, like they keep contributing to it. So then as I saying, like if they were very inactive and just dropping bubbles during SVSs, not maintaining a bubble discipline, not contributing in any way, that would have been a bit hectic for us and boring. But like yeah, they keep being active, and if medium alliances with like 4B 5B keeps who are actively moving on the server and sometimes removing bubbles to hit someone, that generally attracts like big players in the from the other team as well. So gives us more chance to try and hit that person when they are trying to catch the other guy.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Hmm. You're making me reconsider if I want to push nap or not. What do you think, Asta?
Sorry, I was gone for
I was
a
gonna
little
say I
bit.
think he stepped out for a
I
bit.
just I just came back. What I
Oh,
miss?
no, we were just
Sorry.
discussing like nap and bubble and burn and all that stuff. And I was curious, what are your thoughts on it exactly?
I mean, I always thought bubble or burn was always better, but then again, it doesn't work if everyone like if all the bigs are in one alliance, it doesn't really work because then you're always going to be like starting fights with someone that is going to be causing more issues that aren't needed, if that makes sense. So it just depends on the server dynamic. Like for us, I think it's better just to. It's been long enough that we've been fighting the alliances that don't want to work with us, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I feel like having some kind of common ground, which our common ground is we don't want people, you know, running bosses over each other as much as we can. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's still gonna happen, but you know, that was basically my thought process. Is we had been bubble or burn for since the start, basically, so like 2.5 years, 3 years, something like that. And I mean, it hadn't worked the entire time. It was just nothing but basically. I mean, you want to try and keep the server like fighting competitive, if that makes sense. So I think what we're doing right now with the KE fights and stuff like that, it still works. So it keeps it somewhat competitive, but at the same time, it's basically just to try and get all the bigs to work together at the same, in the same alliance and grow together. But sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. So,
Right.
but just depends on how stubborn the people want to be.
Right.
So
that is true. Yeah. Yeah, some people are just very stubborn playing this game. That's for sure.
yeah, very, very much.
I mean, it's perspective. If you've only played one way, you don't know anything different.
Yeah. And I think ego has a role in it too. Some people think that they know more than other people and don't want to listen. So but everyone has their own play style. So I mean, it's how they play. That's fine. So.
Yeah.
I talked earlier about the fact that I transitioned to GOT, but one of the things that I did before I did that was I subbed for a lot of different alliances and got to know a lot of different servers and teams and how they played and their style. And I recommend that to anybody. If you can develop trust with other teams and get a chance to sub and see how other people play, it can give you a better feel for what you really enjoy, which was part of why it was an easy decision for me to join GOT. I knew it was a good fit for me. But I think you kind of are afraid to change. You've invested a lot of time, energy, money into building something, and you're scared to give that up. I think Off Slowly talked about that earlier. But you're just investing in a bad investment if you're not enjoying what you're doing. So explore, learn, take a chance to learn other people, get involved on Discord, listen to these types of events where you learn how other people are playing, and know the fact that there are options. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's how Daddy Asta over here got me to enjoy the game more. Is he dragged me from a very broken server to under his wing.
Yeah, I would not still be playing if I was where I was. And again, nothing. They've evolved. Like I still actually sub over there. I know that they've evolved, but I was not in for what they were going through when they were evolving. Let's put it that way.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Any questions? Anyone? Or anything that any of you guys in the call would like to add at all? I know Jabok's still having coffee.
So Jabok, you missed our recruiting conversation earlier. Anything you want to say to anybody who might be thinking about making a change or joining GOT or a different alliance? Any advice for us?
Well, what I was saying earlier is for me, it's playing in a big team is like playing a different game. And we were just talking about the servers where bubble or burn. I personally think that I didn't enjoy that, and I don't think that the server where I was playing before has evolved. There's still some toxicity and some ego going on, and it slows down the growth of that server. Um, I think it's much more fun to join a big team, and where there's a strategy in place, where you're aligned with the rest of the team as to what the strategy is, um, and it's trying something different, right? Um, so any player out there who's invested into the game but is getting a little bored and wants to see a different side of the game, um, we have that opportunity for you, to really, play with the big boys out there. I also think that I didn't know the overall Evony community, all the leaders and the best players until I joined GOT. So this is also an opportunity to come join a new team and get to know all the other players that are playing in the other team, because there is some rivalry, but it's like Jake is a good friend. All those guys out there become friends, and recently I've been traveling around the world and met with some Evony players in person. So joining a big team is also getting the opportunity to get to know the people from the other big teams in the game. So for me, it's a completely different experience that we're offering. And yes, we heavily recruiting and very keen to have some people to come and join us. So and very happy to discuss with them, to make them more comfortable, to explain more in details how we play. So yeah.
Well said, Jabok. Well said.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, it's getting kind of late, and as much fun as I'm having with you guys,
That's his bedtime.
yeah, I'm like an hour and a half past my bedtime. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bitch. All right,
Needs his mom to tuck him in.
I thought you did that for me, Asta.
Oh yeah.
You just need more tequila.
Oh God.
I mean, Jake's been asleep for like an hour now, right?
Yeah, Jake's
I don't think you have
slacking.
anything to feel bad about.
And he's younger than me too, I'm pretty sure. I definitely want to follow up with you guys. Maybe in the future. Maybe after the next like challenge and all stars. If we could all get back together again and kind of see how you guys are doing, how you're making out as a team, and just a little update. Would any of you guys be up for that?
Yeah, sounds great.
It'd be great.
Happy to, and we appreciate the opportunity to chat today. It was fun.
It was an honor having you guys on here. You kidding me? I loved it.
Thank you.
It was fun.
Thankfully, you guys can bear me, so that's good. I'm not too crazy for you guys. So what I should do from here is, definitely I want to share your guys' YouTube channel and also share your guys' Discord, because I think you guys have a lot of potential, and you guys are an alliance that I think a lot of people should look up to. I know I do. You guys have a very, very impressive team, very loyal team, and you guys have a great future. You definitely do. And if there's anything that we can do, I'm gonna volunteer Asta. Anytime you guys need a filler, make sure you reach out to him. We will do whatever we can to help you guys.
What?
Jabok, I hear Asta and Mr. Yours are looking for a new home. Don't tell Sophie though. I think I'm a little scared of her.
No, I already have enough. I have about 4 homes in one account, so I'm good. Don't worry.
But seriously, Saint, Off Solely, Jabok, Bell, Ask the YouTube, bro. thank you guys for your time, and I appreciate you guys hanging out and having this. And let's recap soon.
Sounds good to us.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you guys for hosting this.
Good talking
Thank
to you
you.
guys.
Thank you guys.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good
Bye.
night, guys.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Take care.
Good night.
All right, I know that's kind of abrupt, right? That was a little bit abrupt to end in there, but I definitely need some sleep. Thank you guys for tuning in. We have to share. So I mean, we have to share Evony with GoT. We have to share their YouTube, right? We got to share the YouTube, and we also have to share their Discord. So if you guys can, make sure you guys hop to the Evony GoT YouTube page. Make sure you guys have the sub button, turn notifications, follow what they got going on there. Very informative, very good people. If you guys haven't, if you guys can, make sure you join up on the Evony GoT Discord, which is what I just posted for you guys. Definitely check it out. Phenomenal people. I mean, you guys heard it firsthand. Honorable people, great people to be around, and they can influence you in many, many ways and lead you to a bright future. They are recruiting. They have keeps for sale. I mean, to rehome, available, to fill. They have stuff you can go play for the right amount of currency to rent, use, borrow, keep. I don't know how to put this right now, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys can, make sure you guys have that sub button, turn notifications, make sure you guys smash that like button, share this channel, and join up on Discord as well. Myself, Chewy, or Asta, make you guys a member, and Stoney will make you guys a member as soon as we can. If you guys are impatient for waiting for us, make sure you guys go through the verification process, which means just read the rules, and you guys can join up and become a member that way. And so for now, I gotta say, thank you guys for tuning in, thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate you guys. You guys rock. I fucking love you guys, all right? I didn't swear the entire stream. I didn't swear once. I held it in there. All right, so for now, chat, I love you guys. You guys have a good night. You guys take care. Peace.